Wells has already proven he's up next.
Trevor Wells with a tremendous first-round TKO finish.
It's him versus Vasquez.
All these other fighters out here think that they're Superman out. One guy who's got kryptonite in his name.
We have a new champion, Gianni Vasquez.
He is the Rising Stars lightweight champion.
Western hero. Before he even had his hand raised in his last fight, he already called out the champ.
And he said to him, I will see you in Burbank.
Welcome everyone to the UNF17 live weigh-in show. I am TK Todd Kennelly. We've got Dustin from the Realize, Recognize show and the official presenter of this live weigh-in show. And then of course we've got Steve from New Money Fight Club, and you'll be presenting the after party. That's what's really important here.
Absolutely.
Coming on. But how about this, guys? The synergy, baby. It's UNF17, and we've got 17 big fights, action-packed card in the Rising Stars division, the professional ranks. You're going to see the entire spectrum of MMA.
Yeah. To have 17 fights and nobody fell off, that's amazing matchmaking on this one. Big respect to the fighters for showing up. It looks like everyone's made weight. Let's rock and roll.
4 title fights, and as you mentioned earlier, we got the People's Champ fight.
Yeah.
This is going to be amazing. I've seen a couple of these guys fight, and I don't know which one to pick to be the fight of the night, but I could probably almost guarantee you it's going to be one of those 4. There's some special ones. We need to highlight these. If you gentlemen, which one do you want to highlight first? It's kind of hard to pick, but
well, we've got 3 rising titles up for grabs. Let's head right to the bright lights and the big money, so to speak. In the professional ranks, the UNF Flyweight title will be on the line. Gianni Kryptonita Vasquez is back to defend, and you got to love to see that. Is talented fighters, especially somebody like Vasquez with a 9-4 record. 3 wins by knockout, 2 submissions, 4 decisions, well-rounded guy. And what an impressive win he had over Narek Avagian, turning out his lights.
Yeah, I mean, the guy has kryptonite in his hands, for real. And at 125 pounds, that's rare to have that kind of knockout power. But, yeah, he shows it over and over. Looking through his record, all his wins, it's usually by strikes. So the guy's incredible, but he's got his work cut out for him. Trevor Wells is an absolute beast from Team Quest, one of Dan Henderson's proteges. You know, I think he was on Ultimate Fighter last season as well. I had a couple opportunities to talk to him, and he is ready to go. Incredible athlete with an amazing team behind him.
Yeah, this is going to be a show. I've got to see Gianni fight, and just his heart and his dedication. You can see it. He puts everything into his fights, and you almost last time I watched him, he doesn't seem like he's fighting at 125 pounds because he's bringing the bricks. He's throwing heavy hands, but I mean, just an amazing cardio, amazing heart. This is going to be a scrap, and it's no joke. Both of these guys got a ton of experience too. To see guys with their record, they've been around. Like, they're not going to be afraid of the big show. They're going to be ready.
And Kryptonita, like many a great Mexican fighter, he's got that pride. I mean, he's always ready for a scrap. As I mentioned in the lead up to this fight, is that Vasquez has got 2 things that every great Mexican fighter has, and that's orgullo, which is Spanish for pride, and oro. He is the champ coming in. He's the incumbent champion. Will he have both those things after this fight? And that is the question, because Trevor Wells does bring in big fight experience. He's no stranger to the UNF. He had a UNF2, all the way back to UNF2 victory, a round 2 knockout win over Heinrich Wassemer. And so it's funny how things come back around, because Wells at that time with that victory was kind of, his camp was kind of promised an eventual title shot. Obviously, Trevor went off, joined the Ultimate Fighter season 31, but it's funny, all of a sudden the phone call came in after that. And he's like, hey, remember that title shot you promised us way back when? We'd still like to cash in, and now Wells has that opportunity. Your thoughts on that?
Well earned, and I think that's going to play an advantage to be in the UFC. That's ultimate goal, right? And to get into that, he's already had that moment in the UFC, and so coming to fight in the title, I feel like he's going to be prepared. It's not that Vasquez is not prepared, that he's been under the big show, the big lights. He's done all that, and coming here into that fight, I think this is going to be the fight of the night. Just seeing, like you said earlier, with Vasquez's heart, I think we can all agree that he's not going to ever throw in the towel. He's going to bring it. He's going to bring it from the opening bell to the last second of each round. I don't know if this one's going to go to the distance. I don't think these two guys are too skilled. But again, when you bring that experience that Trevor has, he's not going to be fazed by it. And I think that's going to play a big difference in this fight. If it does go the distance, I do think it's going to favor Wells a little bit with that experience.
And that's a good point. And history dictates that it could go to the distance, and that's because Trevor Wells, the lion's share of his victories, 6 of his 8 wins, have come by going the distance, by dragging his opponent into deep water, by winning by decision. But on the flip side, you have Vasquez, whose 4 of his 9 wins have come the exact same way. So these guys, they don't go out easy. This thing might be a 3-round war.
Yeah, and Trevor had said that, studying so many years with Dan Henderson, he said the guy is just an encyclopedia of MMA knowledge. And so he is very comfortable no matter where the fight goes, whether it's, a 1-round scrap where they just leave everything in there, or if it's going to go the full 3 rounds. These guys are totally comfortable staying in there. And, they're totally comfortable going the distance because Trevor especially, he had said when I interviewed him a month ago, he is more than comfortable wherever the fight goes because he's got such experience in his corner. He's got, the wizard of MMA, Dan Henderson. And, I was like, are we going to see a Hendo bomb or something like that? He said, actually, you're going to see an Irish bomb. So, go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, well, we're gonna take a closer look now at the champion, Kryptonita, Gianni Vasquez.
We have a new champion! Oh my lord!
All these other fighters out here think that they're Superman out. There's one guy who's got kryptonite in his name.
Gianni Kryptonita Vasquez!
He called out Sean Shelby. He basically told the UFC, are you watching this fight? And I hope they did, because that was one of the best fights that UNF has ever put on.
Vaughn's exhausted, guys. Absolutely exhausted.
Oh, that's gonna be it! That's gonna be it!
When you think about a true Mexican fighter, that's Gianni Vasquez. I don't think he's ever been in a boring fight. He's extremely technical. He's extremely dangerous. He can pick you up and slam you on your back, choke you unconscious.
This guy has something that all the great Mexican fighters have. 2 things, double O, orgullo and oro, pride and gold. But will he have both when this fight is over?
Oro y Orgullo, baby! He's got both, but Willie, after this fight, it's going to be a good one. You just see how impressive Vasquez is, man. This guy is just lightning personified.
He reminds me, I think I said this last time, Brandon Moreno a lot.
Yes.
Just the way he fights, a lot of it. And how much does, I feel like, when you have this much experience and you have a ton of skill, how much does coaching come into play with this? Because, keeping your head on straight, because you get in there, they throw you something you don't know. How much does coaching come into a fight like this? And, just because it's going to take you, I know the skill, the fighters are in there, but how much does the coaching come into play on something like this?
And here's one question for you, because of his experience in The Ultimate Fighter. What type of coaching do you think Wells got as part of Team McGregor?
Gosh, yeah.
Which McGregor did he get, though?
I'll tell you this. If Wells wins the title and elects to go to that after party, I think he'll probably be able to put a few away after being under the tutelage of McGregor. He's going to have some arm strength. He's been doing some curls probably.
He said, whatever they showed on the show, he was actually an excellent, very attentive coach, and he got some real upgrade in his skills. So I have no doubt the guy's going to bring it. But, yeah, just watching that preview there of Vasquez, he just chops down that tree. The guy never stops coming. So that is going to be a tough fight.
Well, let's play devil's advocate here. Let's take a closer look at the challenger in Trevor Wells.
Trevor Wells with a tremendous first-round TKO finish.
6 of his 8 victories are by decision. He can take it into deep water. He looks to do so here.
This fight is not started.
Oh my God! That's gonna be the beginning, the middle, and the end.
He believes he can be the best flyweight in the world one day, and Gianni Vasquez is definitely someone you got to fight.
This guy has what it takes, and I think he's one good fight away from truly getting that call. Trevor Wells has already proven he's up next, so much so that brought him to the Ultimate Fighter House in the UFC, where he got to train under the tutelage of none other than the notorious one, Conor McGregor.
Man, what a barrage by Wells!
he's never forgotten that, he was the guy that was about to fight for that title. So, the first call from his manager was like, hey, we know we're still #1, can we get that title fight?
Pioneer's getting a real close look here. What's it gonna take? He's coming. That's gonna do it finally.
It's him versus Vasquez.
We'll see what happens March 30th.
So there we can see a great preview of that title fight in the professional ranks, but this is again, of course, a live weigh-in show, and our first weigh-in is coming up quickly. And that will be in the flyweight division as Kester Abad takes on Donovan Monroe. And let's talk about Kester Abad, guys. I mean, what a start he had here in UNF. Viral head kick knockout.
Scary.
8 seconds. It was on ESPN, went viral. You saw it everywhere. And then everybody was waiting with bated breath for Kester's next fight here in UNF. And he took on the very tough Somali sniper and Shafi Farah, who's now an undefeated 3-0. And ended up on the wrong end of a unanimous decision there, did Kester Abad. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he rebounds here.
Yeah, I think an explosive fight like that, you always want to watch, and let's see if you can have another one of those knockouts. I mean, you don't see stuff like that. We have Terrence McKinney on the podcast. He's one of our co-hosts, and he has the fastest knockout in lightweight history in 7 seconds. But punches, not a kick. To see a head kick like that, it was insane. And to have the grit to throw that, to think about, hey, I'm going out there and we're going to leave it all in here and throw a head kick. That's amazing. This one's going to be a banger for sure. In the 125, this is going to be a super exciting one.
Yeah, Donovan Monroe, very interesting opponent as well. 2 years ago, he had a loss in, I think it was his first fight, or a second fight. He decided to take 2 years off and just focus on his craft. And he did a lot of traditional karate training and some Muay Thai. And he seems to really be walking this, warrior, samurai kind of path. Very poised guy and really interested in traditional training. But he really took 2 years off to hone his skills, and now he's matched up against a very dangerous striker like Kester Abad. So this one, I don't think it's going to go to the ground, and I would not be surprised if somebody gets knocked out in this fight.
And that's an interesting approach by Monroe, playing the long game. As they say, fools rush in, and you don't want to rush in with either one of these guys, that's for sure, because, we talked about that viral knockout of Kester Abad, but let's talk about Donovan Monroe and his power. He had a 25-second round 1 knockout over Anthony Anderson as well, so he can turn your lights out in a hurry as well. And you talked about that warrior's path, Steve, and let's talk about it, Dustin. What better way to walk that warrior's path than at CMMA with the likes of Chad George?
They're incredible coaching over there. Their guys are always ready and well-trained, and there's something when you're training to beat the best, you're training with the best. That's an advantage because you're fighting high caliber opponents every day in practice, and that gives you a huge advantage. And love is the rising tides rides all boats, right?
And these rising, you talk about that in a camp and that professional-like approach. That's why sometimes if you blink, you really can't differentiate between some of these rising stars fights and professional fights because they pass the eye test. Well, speaking of, we've got the Schmo standing by. Let's kick off this weigh-in.
Thanks, guys. Up first, out of the blue corner, coming out of the flyweight division, we have Kester Abad.
All right, Kester's taken to the scale. It's good to see him back. I think he lives in Vegas, so he comes out for this fight here to Southern California. And,
124 even.
All right, 124. Kester's on weight, ready to go.
And his opponent, out of the red corner, we have Donovan Monroe.
I always love to see the face-off. Oh, he comes out with the cowboy boots. He's ready, working man.
Bruce Leroy, that's his nickname.
I'm interested to see. This looks like this is going to be a very non-intense face-off.
124.4.
I don't know. It looks pretty intense. These are two really nice guys outside of the ring, but they're very highly trained martial artists.
going to let their fighting do the talking.
Ladies and gentlemen, your first bout of the evening.
All right. Yeah. Kester Abad, Donovan Monroe. Very interesting matchmaking on this one.
It's always, you love the little extra, the fireworks sometimes.
Kester, let me start with you. How did this weight cut go for you, and how prepared are you to step inside the Up Next fighting cage to compete tomorrow evening?
It went pretty smooth. Everything went according to plan, and I'm just really excited to go out and perform tomorrow and put on a show for everyone.
And what's your official prediction for how you perform and put on that show tomorrow evening inside the cage?
You have to tune in tomorrow, Schmo, to see the show.
We like to hear it. Donovan, we're coming to you. I love the cowboy boots, my man. Coming in style.
Thank you, thank you. How are you? So how are you doing?
Can't complain. Let's talk about you. How did this weight cut go, and how prepared are you to compete inside that cage tomorrow evening?
Weight cut wasn't a problem. It went with a breeze. Woke up on weight, I'm very disciplined with my eating, so that wasn't an issue, and I'm just ready to scrap tomorrow.
Can we get an official prediction out of you tomorrow?
I'm a more respectful guy than that, so I won't predict because my opponent, I'm sure he has something in his bag to show me, but I will say this, I'm ready for whatever.
We like to hear it. Best of luck to you tomorrow evening. Guys, back to you.
All right, there you have it. Kester Abad, Donovan Monroe, both guys cool, calm, and collected. They made weight. They're ready to go. And there's a lot of parity in this one, guys. When you look at it, both have highlight reel knockout victories. And then a little bit of a stumbling block, and both have unanimous decision losses. So now they come in, their records mirror each other. They won't after tomorrow night. I'm going to be calling the fight. So as they say, I can't really give an edge. But how do you guys see this one going?
Kester has been in the cage recently. I know he's training at the Mayweather camp in Vegas, as well as a number of other incredible schools. He told me he bounces around to a bunch of different academies in Vegas. Donovan, he's got a tough background. He comes out of the inner city, and he told me he had a lot of gang violence growing up that he's managed to get out of. So, and whereas Kester, I think from what I understand from him, he's got a real loving family and background. And so, it's just a matter of who's going to bring more of a dog in this one. It's hard to say. And of course, Donovan is in CMMA. He's got Chad George in the corner as well. So it's really going to be a tough call. This one could go either way.
I have to go. I'll be one to throw it out there. I like to predict. I wouldn't go with Donovan. I just think he's not to take away anything from Kester at all, right? I always think that when you're picking a winner, some people think you're taking away something from Lou. Absolutely not. Respect to both fighters. Credible. They're both on weight. They both seem prepared. They're both great people. I love the fact that, you like to see all the jazz sometimes, but you also love to see just two guys that are just let the fighting do the talking. Let's get in there and compete. I love that aspect of it, but I just think Donovan's going to be prepared with Chad in his corner. He's going to bring a little bit, especially with only 2 fights on the record, right? It's like that experience and that camp to me is going to be the difference. I think they're both going to bring it, but I'm going to go with Donovan to take it. I think it's going to be a close one. I do think this could be the decision, but I'm going to go with Donovan.
Well, and the thing is, too, I'll agree to some point that Donovan he looks really powerful for 125 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to rehydrate. He definitely, I think, would have the edge in power. But, of course, Kester can catch you. Now, some people might question, was that highlight reel knockout, just right place, right time? Was it a fluke? Was it luck? But no, Kester, when you break down, and he's broken down that fight in the past, he said, I knew that my opponent was going to be looking to go downstairs with that leg kick. He timed it perfectly and went upstairs. That was a dead heat, guys. That was a bang-bang play. Kester was going upstairs, his opponent going downstairs, and that head kick's going to beat a leg kick. You know what I mean? So this one could be fireworks, could be very exciting, could go either way, and can't wait to see it.
I think we have both of their wins, though, right? Combined 32 seconds. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's again the parity. Both their wins by knockout, both their losses unanimous decision. The weigh-in continues. The Schmo is standing by up on the stage.
Thanks, guys. Our next bout weighing in is in the featherweight division. Out of the blue corner, we have Michael the Mac Williams. $146.2.
Michael Williams coming off an outstanding finish at UNF
And
15.
his opponent, out of the red corner, we have Rafael Kiken.
Both of these guys undefeated. Both of them.
145.4. Gentlemen, face center.
Oh, here we go.
Face forward.
Yeah, these guys are ready to go.
Michael, you just faced off with your opponent. How game do you sense he is when you just stared off with him inside?
I hope he's game because I'm coming in tomorrow. I'm coming ready to fight.
Rafael, official prediction out of you for tomorrow evening.
It's gonna be good fight, good finish. Watch this, guys.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Don't miss this banger, the featherweight division. Guys, back to you.
Ooh, yeah.
There you go, guys. I mean, 2 undefeated fighters. The O's got to go for one, and Williams, he's 2-0 to the 1-0 of Rafael, and Williams has got some big momentum right here in UNF as well as he had a victory in that the Art of Violence, that Gallery MMA. So you got to love too. Just while we're throwing it out there, what UNF does to differentiate these. We've had Club UNF, we had Gallery UNF. Now we're right back here to Burbank, California. Just making the tour around Southern California and always bringing the action.
That's right, yeah. And, for this one, Michael Williams, I got to say, when I seen him fight last time, very amazing Muay Thai fighter. He's over at Sit Yatong, very traditional education. He considers himself primarily a Muay Thai fighter, but he won with ground and pound. He was very comfortable in the scrambles as well. He's a really well-rounded MMA fighter. I'm really eager to see what he's, how he's improved since his last fight too, because, it was pretty much a flawless victory.
So important to be well-rounded, Dustin.
Yeah.
You can't be a one-trick pony in this sport.
You can't, especially, obviously you have a strength, but the fight, what if your opponent takes it somewhere else? You got to be able to go anywhere with the fight, right? I like the way Michael Williams' last fight. It looks incredible, like you said. One of the O's got to go. Both of these guys up and coming. Michael just looks so cool, calm, and relaxed, right? And I think that just plays a big part because when you're not relaxed, that stress can take a lot of your energy. You're going through a weight cut, and if you're stressing, if you're uncomfortable, it's going to take a toll on you, especially the day before the fight. He just looked ready to go. They both did, right? And that's what I love, and you mentioned it. I think Up Next just does so much for the fighters. It makes it easy. You see a lot of these fight promotions, and it's not taken away from anybody else, right? Let's talk about what Up Next does do. They just get the fighters in a good position to make weight and ready for the fights, and I think you're seeing that with these bouts.
And the matchmaking too. Ryan Buckner with the Rising Stars division, George Basarmajian with the professional ranks. I mean, they give these fighters a great platform, a great opportunity. Tough opponents. There's no gimmies here in UNF. You get a victory, you're going to earn it. But it really allows those fighters to just put the jetpack on their back and ascend if they're up to the task. And the Schmo's up to the task to introduce our fighters for our next fight, Hernandez, Ceres.
Ladies and gentlemen, up next we have a catch weight of 130 pounds. Out of the blue corner, weighing in first, Jose Hernandez. $129 even. And his opponent, out of the red corner, we have Sammy Ceres. $130.2. Gentlemen, square off right here in the center. Face forward. Okay, Jose, just stare down with your opponent. How ready are you to compete inside the Up Next fighting cage tomorrow evening?
I'm ready. We both sacrificed a lot of beer, and tomorrow we're going to put on a show.
How about you, my man?
Let's get it.
Any prediction out of you of how you perform tomorrow?
Only the best.
Only the best. Finish?
Second round.
There it is. What's your official prediction?
There you go.
Finish also. Whatever round, it don't matter. I'm going to finish it.
Ladies and gentlemen, guaranteed fireworks out of these two. Give it up for them. Guys, back to you.
All right, we're back, and we're with the War Master. We got Josh Barnett sitting in. How you doing today, sir?
Good. One of the guys that I work with at CMMA with Chad George, Sammy Caceres up there. Kid's got a lot to say, but not right before a fight.
Yeah, he's a man of a few words as the fight draws closer.
Well, yeah, he's just he gets into that mentality, that little bit of that street kind of. It's on as soon as he sees his opponent kind of mentality. He's been doing great work in the gym, and he's been improving a lot. What I'd like to see out of him is see how that translates into the ring. You know, I have yet to see Sammy fight to his full potential, but if we do see that full potential, it won't go 2 rounds.
That's awesome. There's no better place to get a fighter to reach his full potential than the gym he's at, right? I mean, that's the place to really help.
I'd like to think so, but I'm biased.
Yeah, rightfully so. But I love that he puts that game face on right before the fight, right? Like, put that game face on, man a few words, ready to go, stay locked in, stay laser focused. To me, that just plays such a huge part in your success. Like, why get distracted with other things?
You know what, though? Whatever it is that's necessary for him to perform at his best out there, if that's what it takes, then that's what's best. If it would actually be better for him to be more loose, a bit more improvisational, and kind of go with the flow, then that would be better.
But you.
Ultimately, you have to be who you are, and you have to find out what works best for you. And that could look any number of ways.
Absolutely. Agree with that. I got to say, for one of my favorite fights ever was you and Andre Arlovsky. That was an incredible fight. You showed it. It was just amazing to watch you do that. That was just incredible. So I got to say hats off to you with that fight. It's still one of my favorites of all time. How did you prepare for your fights?
I just trained as hard as I possibly could. I covered the areas that I thought were fundamental towards the success in the fight, depending on the opponent. But most of all, I really just stayed the course of believing that just because they know what I'm going to do doesn't mean they're going to be able to stop it.
100%.
And putting as much effort into being as in good of shape and as sharp. And when I say sharp, I mean my reactions, my anticipation, and my smoothness and rhythm and relaxation in the ring was prime.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
What about your mindset, too, when it was fight week or when you finally get to square off with your opponent? How did you approach that? Would you be a little more cold and reserved, or would you be a little more flowing and open, talking with them even?
It could really vary, but ultimately, I just feel like I just can't wait to get out of the chains. That's how I feel during fight week. I feel like I've been pent up for all this time, and now I get a chance to really be who I am in the ring. So for me, it's about staying calm and cool and relaxed, because I'm just ready to explode out of my skin at any moment.
It seems like that's what Sammy was going through right now, too. I mean, it's a lot of potential energy. You can see that behind his eyes.
Yeah, I suppose so. I don't know what Sammy's brain's entirely like. It's a weird place. I try to stay out of it as much as possible.
Yeah. I feel like for a lot of us, right? It's like I tell people, you don't want to get in there. It's a different place.
Yeah, probably thinking about pupusas all the time now that he's cutting weight. Yeah. But I know what my preparation was and my process, but I'm me, and I don't try to expect that of anybody else. I just want whoever these athletes are, whoever I'm working with, to attune to themselves.
Yeah.
And be honest about it.
It's one of my favorite quotes is, "Be you, they'll adjust." Right? Because you got to be yourself. Let everyone else adjust, because dictate yours. How did you do that? I can't imagine for the fight game, right? Like you said, perfectly. I'm ready to bust off the chains, right? You're going in there to war with another man that's prepared. You'd like to think just as hard as you. You're going in there to battle, just you two. How do you stay calm? Was there any best practices that you did or you teach other people to stay mentally calm for that moment, because you don't want to use any wasted energy up for the fight?
Just really more about being aware of who you are and how you're being in those spaces or in that time, and manipulate it into your favor.
Yeah.
But there is no one set way. The only way I can think of is just that, being aware of who you are and how you're acting and how you're responding and how you feel, and adjusting that as need be, or
Absolutely.
even sheltering pieces of that away from things that will cause it to become agitated. Don't fall into any crap from the other opponent, or, depending if it helps you, absolutely roll into it, keep playing with it, keep bouncing off it, keep it going, see how far they're willing to take it, and be completely unfazed by it, and in fact feed off of it. That's another way of approaching it. And there's been times where I've had guys, I'm not a trash talker, but if someone starts talking trash, I just keep responding, and I keep playing with it and playing with it and playing with it and messing with it. And as long as they don't cross certain lines, then it's like, all right, I'll just keep serving and volleying with you until you decide to give up, you get mad, what have you, because I always believe that, to me, that was a sign of either weakness or it was something they were doing to, let's say, hype themselves up, or even add, depending on how hyperbolic their statements are, add a bunch of pressure onto themselves. Then they would now try to live up to, right? You keep stacking it up, and then have that kind of pressure drive them into that position they think is necessary to be at their best for that fight. And for me, playing in that banter could screw all of that up, making them look stupid, beating them at their own game, getting them mad, getting them flustered. I'm like, there's no way you can win this.
My coach used to have a saying, always, if they give you bulletin board material, use it.
Use it. That's right. Well, and we've got our next fighters up to the scale with the Schmo. This one's going to be Brian Dow versus Carlos Figueroa. Over to you, Schmo.
Up next, ladies and gentlemen, two veterans of the Up Next Fighting Organization, competing in the featherweight division. Up first, coming to the scale on the blue corner, we have Carlos Figueroa.
Carlos is a beast in his last fight.
146.8.
His corner had to stop him from getting up off the stool. He didn't want to stop.
And his opponent.
He's a veteran
Out of the
up
red
next
corner,
as well.
we have Brian the Heat Dow.
Brian's a real crowd-pleasing fighter.
He's got some fans here, making some noise.
145.2. Gentlemen, please forward right hand.
Yeah, this is a great matchup for this one.
Well, I feel Figueroa might have a lot of pride in defending the fact that a street's named after him. I feel like that lineage has to be upheld. And with Dow, I don't know, is that reference to the Tao Te Ching? How chill and how at peace with himself is he going to come into the ring?
He's nicknamed the Heat.
The Heat. Yeah. Well, fire is part of the elements within the Tao Te Ching, so it all fits.
Man, war, man. Y'all know what I bring. I ain't got to speak on it.
Mr. Figueroa, you know your opponent's game. What's your expectations for yourself eating inside that cage tomorrow evening?
Just to leave it all in the cage. I'm glad I'm fighting someone that's not going to be trying to sniff my crotch for 3 rounds. So let's fucking go.
There it is. Official prediction.
I got a quick question for you. Hey, when was the last time you seen a boring fight between a Filipino and a Mexican? Never, man. Never. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Let's go, bro.
Well said. Let's go. Let's end on that.
Yeah.
Guys, can't wait for this one.
Let's go.
When I was looking over the card on this one, this was the one I thought had its fight of the night potential.
This is the most LA fight possible. They all have the same type of tattoos, same lingo. This is all like putazos and chingazos the whole time. It's you got to hear "What's up, then" by each fighter every time.
This is the city of LA fight.
Well, actually, Dave,
the referee is going to wear. He's going to have his Dickies that are down below his knees, high socks. This is the LA one. This is LA.
Figueroa is actually a NorCal guy. He is from Santa Rosa. He fights at Dave Terrell's Fight Alliance in Northern California. So while he may look SoCal, he is representing NorCal.
I'm sure there's an extreme difference between the two.
Yeah, and Brian Dow fighting out of Team Oyama. That's right. The Killers over there as well. So great teams these guys are coming out of. I've seen both these guys fight, and they are very entertaining fighters. Like Carlos was saying, they're not looking to just grapple and grind up against the cage. It's probably going to be a striking battle.
He was very specific about crotch sniffing.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you were turning in for that, any OnlyFans people out there, I'm sorry, you will be disappointed.
Yeah, shout out to OnlyFans, but I don't think you're going to get it with this fight. Hopefully not. But, you know, I always love those ones that they say that, and then that's what it turns into. It turns into, we're not going to go to the ground, and then they end up going.
To me, it's like, oh, I can't, you know, I'm so glad to be fighting somebody on the feet, not as afraid to, oh, you mean you're doing MMA and you don't want guys to beat you up in an area where you're not as good?
Exactly.
So you're just telling me, like, well, then I'm 100% going to take you down. I will get north-south so you can sniff my crotch before I finish you. You know,
Yes.
that to me would be an invitation to humiliate that guy and then get on the mic and be like, learn how to sniff a crotch a little better, and then I'll give you a tip after I get done beating you up next time.
Because the win, at the end of the day, the win is better than anything else.
This is a fight. If you want to say, well, I just came here to throw down on the feet, like,
go to boxing.
Go box or
Yeah.
go kickbox. Well, why aren't you there? Are you not good enough to do that? So you came here. Okay, well, fighting's fighting, but
Absolutely.
boxing is like 1/3 of a fight. Kickboxing is like 1/3 of a fight. Well, actually, boxing's less than 1/3 of a fight because you're not able to kick. It's a very specialized sport, and you know, it takes a very particular type of training. That's why you can be a banger in MMA, go into a boxing ring, and get
beat, yeah.
smoked because it's not the same. Jiu-jitsu, that's 1/3 of a fight. Grappling, wrestling, these are like kind of like 1/3 of a fight. MMA is the complete aspect of fighting. It is the most dynamic and open environment. If you're a fighter, you should be able to fight in MMA to the best of your abilities. If you are only capable of fighting in other certain particular styles and disciplines where things are more restricted for you, then you're not as much of a fighter as an MMA guy.
Well, yeah, and it's like the stand-up. When you're boxing, you're literally looking at the punches thrown, right? And that's it. And your stance is different.
Correct.
When you're in MMA, you're worried about somebody shooting on you, leg kicking, high kicking, elbows, everything goes. And so it's an all-around skill set. And if you have that skill set, take your opponent to where he doesn't want to go. Take him to where you want to go. You dictate the fight.
That's
you
great.
You set the temperature.
The other thing I would notice is that, you know, I don't know where this record on that timeline how it has been built up, the losses and wins.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, Figaroa could be coming up on his 3-0 run at this point, leading into this fight with Dow. But ultimately, you know, this guy's like, you know, sniffing crotches and all that, and you go, bro, you're 3-6. You've lost twice as many fights as you've won. So what we want to see here is, who is this guy as he gets in the ring? That 3-6, that was before he steps into the cage tomorrow.
Yeah.
So who is this guy coming up? And that's really the interest there with that. And, you know, Dow, he says there's never going to be a boring fight between a Filipino and a Mexican. I suppose. I don't know.
I didn't know there was keeping record of that, but we're going to find out.
All right, but we got our next fighters coming up. This is going to be Atilla versus Cole Smith. Over to you, Schmo.
Thanks, guys. Up next, we have another banger in the featherweight division. Weighing in first, out of the blue corner, we have Cole the Bolt Smith.
Cole Smith making his debut.
140.8. And his opponent, out of the red corner, we have Atilla the Killer. 144.6.
One of these guys is going to get their first victory inside UNF.
Yeah, Cole coming in surprisingly 4 pounds, 5 pounds under just
Underweight.
about. Yeah, but not concerned. And honestly, if you can't win a fight based on a small difference in weight, then it's really not the weight. It's probably
Cole,
you.
we'll start with you. You just came back
Another
from
Filipino,
Thailand. You had a couple pounds to spare. What's your expectations inside that cage tomorrow evening?
Hopefully we can have a good time in there. You know, I'm hoping there seems like a lot of seats here, so have everybody cheering real loud, and hopefully have a great fight.
Attila, you were very tense during that face-off right there. We saw you clenching that jaw. What are your expectations out of yourself tomorrow evening?
It doesn't matter. Knockout, submission, decision, I'm getting my hand raised.
How do you feel about that?
Sounds serious. But I'll come in there with a smile on my face and get the job done for sure.
And for anyone who has not seen you compete, what are they going to be coming back with after watching you inside that cage tomorrow evening?
Doesn't matter. I'm just getting my hand raised tomorrow. That's all that matters.
All business. Guys, back to you.
Atilla. Yeah, with a name like that, you know, he means business for sure. And then, yeah, Cole Smith, while he has never had an MMA fight, he'd spent a number of months in Thailand last year, and I think he said he did have a couple of kickboxing matches. So, bit of experience in the cage, but, you know.
One thing I noticed about Atilla here, and not Tamerlane, Atilla, different Mongol, is that not only does he have a Filipino tattoo, and he does seem very focused and all business in terms of approaching this fight, he also is a big fan, seemingly, of Geranimal's style of dress, where his pants, his shirt, his hoodie, everything is exactly matched to the T, colors, logos, all of it, all lined up.
All lined up.
It's just like, if anybody remembers Geranimals, it's like, oh, you're gonna, the giraffe. So I don't know if this guy's just got extreme OCD, so if things should happen to go wrong in the cage, is he gonna lose his crap and either get a giant burst of violence out of it, or is he gonna be completely demoralized? Perhaps, you know, Cole Smith should be looking to like move things out of place.
Yeah.
Like, just to
throw him out of
Josh, it's your experience is just diabolical the way you're reading into
rub
these
the corner
matchups.
post all three times as he walks by. Like, why do you do that? Why do you do that? What's going on? You know, find a little piece of tape and tear it on him on his club. He's like, it won't stick.
Take his hoodie, right?
Yeah.
Did you do stuff? Because this is the battle of the suburbs, right? Those are West. So they're coming in. It's not.
Why is this not happening on an Xbox then? I guess, right? Or did it start there?
It's going. Did you find ways that your opponent had something like that where you could use it to your advantage? Did you notice that?
I picked up everything that I could find, or anything that was being essentially projected by my opponents. However, I wasn't really interested in I didn't really play too many games. There are times like when I fought Jeff Munson over in Japan, and because I had trained him for many years at times, been in his corner for his biggest fights, and it just so happened that we couldn't be matched up against other people, so we ended up getting matched up against each other.
Yeah.
And, you know, I ran my mouth during the length of the fight as a different kind of match. But generally, I would say, while I was very observant, not only in what they would say, how they would say it, the words they would use, and what they're wearing, all these kind of things. I was really just more about trying to go out there and just break a person. The thing that I drove to do most was break my opponent's will and make them just utterly quit and be completely and totally defeated. Whatever it took to do that, and usually just extreme violence and will. But you know, in the case of Cole Smith and Atilla Arrett, maybe messing with something is the key here. But we got 0-1 versus 0-0, so anything is up for grabs. We'll see how these guys show themselves in the ring coming tomorrow night.
All right, so we are up next. Our next matchup, let's go over to the Schmo, to the scales. It's Narek Avajian versus Rodney Kealohi.
Thanks, guys. Up next, weighing in, we have a catchweight bout of 130 pounds. Out of the blue corner, we have the captain, Rodney Kealohi.
We got two experienced guys.
130 even.
Two very experienced guys coming to the scale. One 6-4, one 14-8. It's going to bring a lot of experience to this fight.
And his opponent, out of the red corner, the Armenian warrior, Narek Avajian. 129.4. We got a fight.
Yeah, Avajian coming off a loss to the champ.
Such a great fight.
Vasquez.
That was a really incredible fight.
He hung in there. Fighting a Hawaiian. I like to see it.
That's it.
Tons of experience these guys are going to bring in there. This will definitely be an interesting matchup.
I feel like we got Max Holloway versus Marab right now.
We're going to start with you. You just locked eyes with your opponent. What do you sense when you stare into his face for what you're going to see tomorrow evening?
I sense he'll be in there, he'll be ready, but not as ready as me, man. I'll be in there ready to get the finish. Let's go.
Wow. How about you, my man? What do you sense when you stare into your opponent's eyes?
Շատ լարված է, վախեցած է, այդ եմ տեսնում։
You sense your opponent's nervous, is what you're saying. Yes. Okay, we got a translator up here. He thinks you're nervous. Are you nervous?
God, I don't get nervous when it comes to war. Let's fucking go.
He's ready for a war. What are your expectations?
Good luck, bro.
Good luck, bro. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to miss this one.
No translator needed for that.
Guys, back to you.
If you can't understand an Armenian saying bro, you are in the wrong place.
Yeah.
But Hawaiians, mostly known for being strikers in MMA, in their history of things. Now, he might have a really killer ground game, might have some wrestling to his background, judo, not sure. I would say that while they are both experienced, Narek has more wins than Rodney has fights total. And a lot of those wins are international. So how is that going to play into things? We know he's a tough guy. You know he's willing to give it his all, and he's not backing down for anything. He did lose his last fight, but it wasn't for lack of trying. And the opponent was just better that night. Yeah. But I expect that he's going to want to erase that last fight in the minds of people watching here tonight. Yeah. And to do so, he's going to try and erase Rodney Kialohi.
You come out and make a statement, right? That was a great fight, lost to the champ, and like you said, but you got to come out and make another statement, right? You come out, and when you have someone like that looks focused, they're coming off that loss. I feel like sometimes the brightest light always comes from your darkest moments, and those losses can mean something if you use it to fuel you to do something better. And I've always watched guys that had great, intense training and great camps. When they're coming off a loss, it's almost like the refocus point for them to get better. And a guy that's got 14 wins, he's accustomed to winning. Yeah. He knows what that feels like. So
he's an amazing wrestler too. So yeah, Rodney's got his work cut out for him. But let's go over. We're going to watch a preview now of probably one of the most anticipated fights in the Rising Stars division we've ever had. Isaac Enriquez. We're going to watch a little preview about the champ for the lightweight Rising Stars division.
He is the Rising Stars lightweight champion, Isaac Enriquez.
I call Isaac the serial killer. He's an assassin. This guy will fight anybody.
The guy took his first fight with UNF on 2 days' notice for a title fight, came out and had a first-round knockout.
That's gonna be my lord! On 2 days' notice, and tonight he walks away with the interim lightweight title around his waist.
He's fought some of the best amateurs already with like 3 fights, and he's undefeated now. His third fight was against Jairi Baker, who was one of the pound-for-pound best rising stars in the state.
Baker eating some knees right to the hamstring.
He basically won that fight stem to stern, and when you put in a dominant performance against the current champion, that just sets the tone for your entire career.
Isaac Enriquez, interim no longer.
No matter who he faces in that cage, he is always ready to have his hand raised. And Isaac Enriquez can't be more ready for this one.
I am very much looking forward to this one. Another potential fight of the night. Isaac, I got to see him when he won the interim belt he had one fight, and he came in on, against Edrin Jamian, who's an amazing striker, knocked him out in the first round. Mm-hmm. Got the interim belt. Then he had a war against Jairi Baker, who, Jairi, right?
Yes, he trains at CMMA, good hard training kid, has been building quite a win streak for himself. So with a victory over him, that says quite a lot for Enriquez. Plus, it was an opportunity to cement himself as that 155-pound champion.
But now he has to defend the belt. He finally unified it. He's holding the unified strap. But now he told me when I spoke to him, too, he really wants to show that he can hold on to this thing. Mm-hmm. And so Weston is, when they gave him the interim title at UNF gallery at the Ukrainian Cultural Center. That was UNF15, I think. Before they even raised his hand, he was yelling for Enriquez. So this is all he wants. And, you know, Weston's a finisher too. Isaac seems very well-rounded, a great wrestler. I'm not really sure where this fight's going to go, but it's going to be spectacular.
Sometimes you got to be careful of what you ask for, though. You ask for something and you get it. You know, you have to be careful. This one's going to be super exciting fight. 3-0 and against the 5-2 Weston. We're going to show you the highlights of this one. I have Fight of the Night written all over this one. I think this one's going to be an incredible fight. We're going to go to that highlight of Weston now.
Weston Quiros, before he even had his hand raised in his last fight, he already called out the champ.
And he said to him, I will see you in Burbank.
This guy will fight anybody, anytime, in any place. He has fought some of the best talent in the United States.
He's got the leg. Oh my goodness. Out of the frying pan here, look at this.
Weston Quiros' biggest strengths are his grit and his toughness. He wants to get right in his opponent's face and turn this into a dogfight. And when that happens, everybody goes home happy.
He believes he's going to win every fight. He wants to fight every month. Every card that we have, he's setting up to get on. He does not want to slow down, and he wants to make a statement. He believes he's the best, so he's going to go out there and prove that against the best.
Win or lose, he's got the experience and he's got the courage to basically challenge a promotion's best. And that's exactly what Weston Quiros did. He wants that title, and he's going to do anything he can to get it.
An aggressive submission finisher with Quiros. And we'll see how that factors in with Enriquez having a strong wrestling game as part of his winning strategy. Can that wrestling put him into harm's way by taking Quiros to the mat? And with that thought process, is he just going to try and keep this fight on the feet? Or does he really believe and buy into that wrestling and go, you know what, that's fine that Weston's going to be looking for all these submissions. I'm going to be able to shut them down, ground and pound him, beat him up, crush on him, and wear him out until he gives me that opportunity to put this fight away.
It's a battle of, do I think my strength's better than your strength, and can I impose my will on you?
Mm-hmm.
And then I've always, wondered this question: is it more difficult, more pressure to win the title in your title fight, or to defend the title, right? Because now everyone's gunning for you. Mm-hmm. Now you've kind of, when you accomplish your dream, there's a little bit of pressure lifted off, but then now you have to defend it. Is it still that urge that you had, because when you set that goal, you achieved it? It's not to say that you back off of it, but I always wondered that. What's the more pressure, to win that title or to defend the title? So I wonder what that's going to play.
I would say it would be defending the title, because you know that it only continues to ramp up from there. Like, you're not going to get any easy opportunities in terms of people building themselves into a title fight. So plus, the more you win, the more people are going to talk about you as the champion, and that's going to be negative and positive both. And how those things are going to affect you, there's going to be more of them. You're in the spotlight, and everyone sees you with a target on your back because you got the shiny gold thing that everybody wants to hold.
Yeah, and you're going to get everyone's best on your, like, when you fight, when you're defending the title, everybody's best is coming at you.
You got everything to lose.
Yeah, and so let's wait no more. We're actually going to go to the weigh-ins. We're going to go and watch these two weigh into the Schmo. We got Isaac and Weston going to the scale right now. The Schmo.
Thanks, guys. Up next, we have a title fight in the Rising Stars lightweight division. Up first, the challenger. On the blue corner, we have Weston Quiros. 154.6.
Weston fighting out of Pugilist Gym.
And up next, we have the champion, fighting on the red corner, Isaac Enriquez. 155.2.
Both fighters right on.
Well, with Isaac being 3-0, he has yet to taste defeat in MMA, and that kind of perhaps ignorance, you could say, can really fuel a guy through elements of danger and desperation for folks that have been in those trouble spots before, but also it could make it so that he's unable to deal with adversity. We got to see how that happens if Weston's able to put him in some real tight spots.
All right, guys, we're going to start with the champion right here, Isaac. Man, you're defending this belt. This is your turf right here. What are your expectations for your performance inside that cage tomorrow evening?
I'm going to try to put on a show, do the best I can to, perform as best as I can.
Weston, right here, you're the challenger for the reason. You want a taste of that gold. How do you get the job done tomorrow evening?
With God. That's it.
Any round that you envision that you'll get the job done, or by any means necessary?
I think 1, but if he's here for 3, I'm here for 3. Let's do it.
You heard your challenger. He's thinking he can get this done in 1.
In 1? I don't know. Who knows? It's fighting, anything can happen.
And what are your expectations for yourself?
Shake, bake, shake and bake.
Shake and bake. Ladies and gentlemen, the title's on the line tomorrow evening. You don't want to miss it. Guys, little Ricky Bobby, back to you.
These
little
look
Ricky
like they're almost
Bobby.
the same
Yeah,
guy.
little Ricky Bobby reference. Didn't land as well as he thought it was
tough,
going to.
Tough crowd.
I like the vibe from both of these guys. Yeah. What they're really feeling, they're really not concerned about displaying into the world, because all they're concerned about is tomorrow night.
Yeah, I saw, man, Wes looked focused. If a word described, he looked focused. Isaac, I don't want to call it nervous energy. I sensed maybe a little nervous energy there. I don't know if it was.
Possibly, which is normal. Yeah. I mean, there's seeing a guy who seems nervous in a negative way, and a guy who just seems like he's just
loosey-goosey.
He's full of electricity. Like this guy, he's got nerves, he's got anger, he's got sadness, he's got all these things playing in him, this type of anxiety, but it's not debilitating. It's just part of that process. And some people need to be a bit nervous to perform at their best.
And I think Isaac probably has a lot of confidence going into this one. That's what I saw, because, having a war with a guy like Jairi and wrestling, being able to wrestle a guy like that for, going the distance with him, winning a unanimous decision, and then he's fighting out of 12th Planet Riverside, where Majali Gay, who is the current welterweight champion, is. They got a bunch of guys they're collecting all the belts. So his school, his team, they're winning a lot, and coming off such a dominant, a win against such a dominant champion.
Did you say 12th Planet?
10th Planet. Did I say
10th
12th
Planet? I was like, wow, two more planets.
Yeah.
Things are really evolving.
12 zodiac signs, 12 apostles.
True enough, yeah.
We just discovered 2 new planets. This just happened.
That's right. And UNF will be in Riverside for UNF18. That's the Orange show, right, at the Orange Pavilion in Riverside.
All right.
So
all the fighters will be brought to the ring in a monster truck, and then motocross guys, dirt bikers will jump over it.
The little Kenny Powers maybe come out as well.
Shake and bake.
You just taking over the 909.
And once you got it, then you got to decide if you want to.
What are you going to do with it? Yeah, you really want the Inland Empire?
See these guys. They're ready to go anytime, anywhere, though, and you got to love that. Like, they're ready to scrap. Short notice fights, ready to go, calling fights, right? Like calling for opponents, wanting to fight on every card. There is a message here from both of these guys. Like, no matter what's going on, they're ready to fight anywhere, and that's respect. And going out there and giving to your opponent, ready to go. Both, they both look focused. Like you said, nervous energy always isn't bad energy, right? Focus on what you're going to do. It was funny. I thought they both looked alike. They both very resembled each other build, but it looked like I laughed at my kids.
155-pound Enriquez and Quiros look alike.
Yeah, and they both were there, same build. It was ready to go.
Both no chest hair. Soft, baby smooth. but I like the look of how these guys seem to be approaching it, and they just seem like, okay, I'm not concerned about my opponent. I'm only concerned about moment to moment and getting to that ring, and then having that bell sound, and then letting it fly.
Letting go.
And that's great. They come off like champs.
Well, so Josh, can I ask you a couple questions here? What else you got going on? I know you're doing a bunch of promoting, some wrestling shows. What else is up for you now?
In addition to training fighters at CMMA and training my UWF USA guys there, Victor Henry with a fight coming up April 27th in UFC, and someone who's fought here in UNF quite a few times. Well, Victor Henry is the former champion of the prior iteration of this organization at 135 and now fighting in the UFC. I got Johnny Robles fighting May 11th up in Oregon. Another guy, frequent of the UNF cage. And I've got my 10th edition of Josh Barnett's Bloodsport professional wrestling show happening in Philadelphia during WrestleMania week. This will be Bloodsport 10. We have people like myself taking on John Morrison. We've got WWE's Shayna Baszler competing in our show, taking on Masha Slamovich, as well as a women's 4-women one-night tournament that'll be happening with people like Marina Shafir, who has fought here in Burbank before, Lindsay Snow, previous winner, and Janai Kai and Lady Frost. It's a star-studded, sold-out event, and then that's going to lead into June, where we've got Bloodsport Bushido, which is June 22nd at Yogoku Kokugi-Con at the Sumo Hall. We have announced just a list of some competitors yet, but matchups still to come, and looking forward to bringing that event live from Japan here to everyone on Fight TV.
That's
Going
awesome.
international,
And I'm a little disappointed, I got to say. I didn't see the whiskey.
Well, I don't necessarily walk around with a flask or a bottle every day, but we just released a new piece out into the lineup. This is the War Master Edition Cast Strength Blend, where I had taken, normally the War Master Edition is a single barrel product, where I'll go out there, find one singular perfect barrel and bottle it and sell it. But in this case, what I did is I went through our rick house, sampled a variety of barrels, and then took from that, blended what I had in front of me until I found what I wanted. And now you've got this round 1 cast strength blend release available now. Will be here in brick and mortar stores in Southern California. Should also be up in Washington, in Connecticut, and is also available for direct sales through our website, warbringerbourbon.com.
Warbringerbourbon.com. I'll have to pick some up. I'll take it all the way to Texas. We love some good whiskey in Texas.
Well, this is mesquite smoked as well, so that's another thing that should be familiar to Texans.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
All right, so coming up next to the scales, this is for the People's Champion belt. This is Danny Labastida versus Israel Salazar.
Ladies and gentlemen, up next in the Rising Stars Flyweight division, weighing in out of the blue corner, we have El Haron Daniel Labastida.
I love these kids.
123.2. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, we have Israel Salazar. 125 even.
Coming in after the War Master, Jesus. What do I have to say?
Nothing but respect. Case 4, gentlemen.
Stone cold face.
Okay, Danny, we're going to start with you. You are no stranger to the Up Next fighting cage. You compete, you let your actions speak louder than your words. How do you feel you're going to perform tomorrow evening?
I feel like I'm going to perform exactly how I need to, maybe even a little better.
How do you predict you'll be victorious inside the cage tomorrow evening?
No predictions, just a fight, man. I'm just going to go out there and put on my best performance. And if you know me, you know I come to fight.
What can the crowd expect?
Oh, excitement. Always excitement. Always excitement.
How about you, my man? What can the crowd expect out of you?
Blood, sweat, tears, a fight. Basically, it's going to be a brawl in the Applebee's parking lot. I might fight the ref. I don't know.
And what about your walkout? You always have something special in store for us for that.
Yeah, I haven't decided my walkout song yet, but for my walkout, I will be walking out.
He certainly will. We'll let you get the last word. What will that be?
Show up. Show up on time, show up ready to fight, and I'll be there too, brother.
We certainly expect it. Gentlemen, we appreciate you both. Guys, back to you.
All right, we're here with commentator extraordinaire John King. How you doing, brother?
Thank you. Good to be here.
Welcome.
Are you going to be walking out to your walkout?
I don't think I have a walkout, but I will be walking out at some point.
All right, that's awesome. You gotta love this.
Yeah, Danny said that when he walks into Lana Del Rey, he loses, and when he walks into Rihanna, he wins. So he plans to walk into Rihanna. He was hoping Rihanna would walk him out, but I bet you Danny could pull that off eventually. I think he could.
That guy can pull anything off. I mean, he's he plays that innocent card, but he is full of confidence, and he's a real dangerous wrestler. He's got good grappling, so he's definitely a well-rounded fighter, and he's going up against a real tough opponent, so it should be a good fight.
Yeah, this is why for anyone watching, you don't mess with people randomly or try to bully people, because if you heard that, you would think that, and that guy would rip your head off.
Yeah, one of the things that I saw a picture of Dan Henderson once with his ears, and it said, if this guy hits on your girlfriend, don't do anything.
Yeah, it's his girlfriend.
Buy him a drink. Just wish him well and buy him a drink, but don't. But it's funny, just the confidence that comes from that, right? Like having that just stone cold, don't give him anything, like comfortable in your own skin. What Josh was talking about earlier, be you, right? And people can relate to that to a point, and they can appreciate it. And I've always said that. I said, I'd rather people wear these 1,000 masks and they try to be something they're not, than you're trying to put on a show for everybody. If you just be you, I'd rather somebody hate me for me, but also love me for me, than having to play these characters to different people. Yeah. And I love the fact that he's just the same every time, but then he just gets on there and puts on a show. Like, it's amazing.
Same with Israel. These guys, they're the most authentic guys on the roster. When Buckner put this one together, I was like, this is perfect matchmaking, because everybody, they're crowd-pleasing fighters, very energetic. They're really both good in a scramble. They're both good strikers, and they're just like the nicest guys, too.
Yeah, they're what I call equal opportunity badasses, or ass kickers. They're deadly wherever the fight goes, and for a couple young amateurs, they really put the professional ranks together, or at least put them on notice, because these guys are coming.
Yeah, and in this scenario, nice guys do not finish last.
Yeah.
Because they will both rip your head off, so be careful.
And they're both coming off wins, too. So, they have mixed records, but yeah, both coming off wins. And, it looks like we've got two more guys stepping up to the scale here. This is, all right, we've got stepping up to the scale. It's Artur Artunian versus Josh Piva. Over to you, Schmo.
Thanks, guys. Up next, we have a catch weight at 130 pounds. Introducing first out of the blue corner, he goes by the King of Diamonds, Josh Piva. 129.4.
Coming in with a 10-4 record, Josh is on weight, ready to go.
There's a lot of experience in that record. 10-4, 14 fights. He's going up against a guy who's 3-1, so he's going to have an experience advantage in this fight.
And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, we have Artur Artunian!
People have been ducking Artur. He's been trying to get a fight for a while.
129.4. We got a fight.
The iceberg.
Square off right here.
The King of Diamonds versus the iceberg. I like it.
It's got ice everywhere.
Face forward.
It's getting cold in here.
King of Diamonds, we're going to start with you. You just faced off with your opponent. What are you sensing when you look in his eyes?
It seems like we're gonna fight. Yep.
You ready for that?
Yeah. I signed up for it. I'm gonna show up for it.
Of course. Artur, been hard for you to get a fight. What are your expectations for yourself competing inside that cage?
All I know is gonna be a great fight. Thank you to this guy for taking the fight. He's a true vet, and I cannot wait to perform tomorrow.
And what will you tell all the fans watching worldwide if you are victorious tomorrow evening inside the cage?
I would say thank you for coming out. Or what else can I say?
Okay.
Love that.
Final prediction?
We're gonna bang out.
Gonna bang it out. Gonna bang it out.
100%.
100%. Guys, back to you.
Wow. Wow, I mean, you got to give Josh credit. Not only anyone taking a short notice fight on, 3 days, but to go against someone that is an incredible fighter. I mean, this guy is a gamer.
Yeah.
People, ducking him, if you will, don't want to fight him. And just all the respect in the world. I know there's no moral victories, right? But that just says something about who you are. You're 10-4 record. You got a good record, and you go and fight an up-and-coming, superstar on 3 days' notice. That's incredible. That's amazing, and you love that. And you kind of, I love the roofer guys. One of the guys that I'm with, Kevin Holland, UFC. I've watched him constantly take fights on short notice, and he did Chimaev fight on the day's notice, right? I've been in San Antonio with him, and a fighter ducked out, and behind the scenes when no cameras are on, he's begging to get the fight. I'll make it right now. Let's do a catch weight. And I'm like, you have a fight in 2 months. He's like, I'll do this fight and turn around.
Beast.
And you just love seeing guys like that, right? Because they love to fight, and they bring it. These are always exciting fights to watch from both ways.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning that even though Piva's going to have an experience advantage, he's coming in on short notice, as you mentioned. Artur Artunian had a full camp at KD MMA, and that's a really good camp. So that experience advantage might be weighed a little bit to the camp and the experience that Artunian has put in. The iceberg's been working for several weeks now. His original opponent fell out. Piva took the fight on short notice, so the experience advantage might go right out the window because short notice.
All right, I think we're going to watch a quick video here about the main event. This is going to be Gianni Vasquez. Let's watch a quick clip about him.
We have a new champion. Oh my Lord!
All these other fighters out here think that they're Superman out. There's one guy who's got kryptonite in his name.
Gianni Kryptonita Vasquez!
He called out Sean Shelby. He basically told the UFC, are you watching this fight? And I hope they did, because that was one of the best fights that UNF has ever put on.
Vargian's exhausted, guys. Absolutely exhausted. Oh, that's gonna be it! That's gonna be it!
When you think about a true Mexican fighter, that's Gianni Vasquez. I don't think he's ever been in a boring fight. He's extremely technical. He's extremely dangerous. He can pick you up and slam you on your back, choke you unconscious.
This guy has something that all the great Mexican fighters have. Two things, double O, Orgullo and Oro, pride and gold. But will he have both when this fight is over?
Wow. And we're not going to waste any time.
I got chills.
Yeah, I'm like, there's really nothing you can say about that, right? I think you just got to go into his opponent's video.
Let's do it.
Let's go. So we're going to go to Trevor Wells now, see his video.
Trevor Wells with a tremendous first round TKO finish.
6 of his 8 victories are by decision. He can take it into deep water. He looks to do so here.
This fight is not started. Oh my God! Down, Trump's in a hurry. The beginning, the middle, and the end.
He believes he can be the best flyweight in the world one day, and Gianni Vasquez is definitely someone you got to fight.
This guy has what it takes, and I think he's one good fight away from truly getting that call. Trevor Wells has already proven he's up next, so much so that brought him to the Ultimate Fighter House in the UFC, where he got to train under the tutelage of none other than the notorious one, Conor McGregor.
Man, what a barrage by Wells!
Yeah, he's never forgotten that he was the guy that was about to fight for that title. So the first call from his manager was like, hey, we know we're still #1. Can we get that title fight?
Well, and here's getting a real close look here. What's it gonna take? He's coming. That's gonna do it finally.
It's him versus Vasquez.
We'll see what happens March 30th.
Wow. Here we go.
The hair is standing up on my arms, boys.
We went from the Ice Kings to that's wow.
The fire.
That just lit it up, right? Here we go. I mean, there's that fight's the fight to look forward to, and you gotta love Trevor want to come back to want to take the title fight against somebody amazing. So credit.
Absolutely, and not only that, but both of these guys. I mean, not just one or the other. Trevor Wells and Gianni Vasquez are literally one fight away from getting that call.
Yeah.
So we have 2 of the best flyweights in the entire world right now. 2 of the top prospects on the UFC radar, and they get to face off in the Up Next Fighting Cage. It's going to be fireworks.
So you can't miss this, and we're going to go over to the Schmo for the weigh-ins. These guys are ready.
Thanks, guys. Weighing in next, we have the main event of the evening. We have the UNF Flyweight title on the line. Introducing first, out of the blue corner, we have Trevor Wells. $128.6.
Boy, he looks good too. Twisted steel and sex appeal. That guy's ripped.
And his opponent, the man who this fight card is built around. Out of the red corner, Gianni Kryptonita Vasquez. 130.4.
Both these guys are absolutely shredded.
Ready to go. He had to move away from the Schmo a little bit.
Gentlemen, face each other. Face forward.
Whoa. Intense.
Okay, Trevor, we'll start with you. You've competed at the highest of highs. You've experienced it all. What's going through your mind at this very moment, getting the opportunity to crack at gold against this man in that cage tomorrow evening?
I just see myself winning. Any way I need to, but I see myself winning.
Johnny, this fight card was built around you. You got your title on the line. What are your expectations for yourself competing inside that cage tomorrow evening?
My expectation is just to prove why I'm the champ and then why I'm going to be still the champ tomorrow night.
Do we have an official prediction out of you?
No, not really. I'm just going to come and then put on the show as always I do and then take the belt home.
You heard the man. He wants to put on a show and take the belt home. Why are you going to change his plans tomorrow evening?
I've just put in a lot of work for this camp. I think I'm ready for the moment, and I'm expecting a finish in the later rounds.
All right, Gianni, you're rocking your Jordan 4s. We'll give you the final word for everybody out there for your competition tomorrow evening.
Just make sure everybody's here, make sure everybody don't miss my fight, and then I will bring you the show for tomorrow night.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen, your main event with the flyweight title on the line. You don't want to miss it. Guys, back to you.
Wow, that was a schmoment. If
Certainly
was.
there ever was one, yeah. All right, Rafael Perez is saying, let's go, Gianni. Got some fans on Team Vasquez.
Hashtag Team Vasquez.
Yeah, two storied camps going up against each other. We got Dan Henderson's gym versus, Team Oyama. It's going to be a hell of a fight. Two storied camps. Trevor Wells trains with Joe Daddy Stevenson, Dan Henderson. I mean, that camp is absolutely stacked, and we all know what Team Oyama brings to the table. There's nothing but killers and sharks in that tank. So it should be a hell of a fight. You got two storied camps going up against each other, and the title hangs in the balance, man. You can't ask for anything better than that.
You're not going to rattle either one of those guys. Those guys are fighting, like you said, every day with people that are better than them, right, in their camps or more experienced, and you're not going to rattle someone like that. They're used to it. You're just going through it. It's like, it's practice like you play, so when you play, it's like practice. And you're prepared for those moments over and over and over again. And you could just see them cool, calm, and collected. They weren't rattled by the moment. They weren't rattled by each other. You could see the respect was there, but they're ready to go. And that's just that. You could feel the energy. We all had chills over here, just them ready to go.
I can't let it go. You talking about practice?
Practice.
You talking about practice?
Perfect practice. Yeah. But the stakes are so high on this one, too, so it's going to be amazing. But, all right, we've got another title fight up on this one. We're going to watch a video here of Nathaniel Hawthorne.
Nathan Hawthorne is riding a 4-fight win streak, and he's ranked in the top 20 in California.
This guy's winning wherever he goes, and he's stepped up to take on one of the toughest fighters in the UNF roster.
Our door is wide open to fighters just like Nathan Hawthorne.
I think Nathan Hawthorne is definitely deserving, although it's his first fight with UNF. He puts on great performances, and he's taking on the toughest challenge when he's fighting Pargev for that Rising Stars title.
You don't want to eat a suplex from Pargev, but Hawthorne is primed, he's ready. He might dim the lights of Pargev and shine under the bright lights of Up Next Fighting.
Man, Hawthorne, he's the belt collector. He's got multiple Muay Thai belts. He's got MMA belts. He's competing in BJJ. This guy is winning everywhere he goes, and now he really wants to take, this 125 title fight.
Yeah, and he did it the right way. He started small, worked his way up, kept going, fight after fight after fight. He put himself on the radar for Up Next Fighting. So he's one of the young fighters that's kind of ingratiated himself to the promotion instead of the other way around. So I'm really looking forward to see what he's got in store for Pargev, but we all know what Pargev brings to the cage.
Yeah, and Nathan's got a ton of experience though, so the record's a little deceiving. He's out of Team Quest with Dan Henderson, 4-1 record. It seems like there's a recurring theme here coming in with these guys. It's crazy, but a ton of experience. So the 4-1 record doesn't tell the tape, and he looks relaxed, composed, great all-around game. But again, his opponent, the same thing. This is just, this card is so stacked when you go through these 4 title fights, and just the 4 title fights alone could be a card, right? Yeah. Which is crazy, and then you keep going down. This is amazing, right? We go again to the matchmaking. I'm like, this is my favorite fight. This is my favorite. Oh, no, this one's my favorite fight. I forgot. They're all, it is just crazy, the matchmaking too, because you have opponents that you don't see a lot of favorable matchups. It's great matchups, and this is another one. Yeah. You have 2 guys that are going in there. One's 2-1, one's 4-1. Both come with great backgrounds. This is going to be another barn burner. This is going to be a crazy fight. Another one of 4 title fights.
Yeah, and it's pedigree versus pedigree. Hawthorne's got that Muay Thai kickboxing background. Pargev Kachatrian's got that relentless wrestling game.
Right.
And we all talk about it all the time. You hear Joe Rogan talk about it as wrestling being the base for the most successful fighters in mixed martial arts. And Pargev, he definitely plays off of that. He's relentless with his pursuit, relentless with his takedowns, and this guy's got a gas tank on him. So
yeah. Those KD MMA guys are incredible fighters. Pargev, like you said, amazing in the scramble, amazing wrestler. Let's watch a little video about him.
Pargev is one of the most entertaining fighters on the UNF roster.
There's bad blood between these two. They want to go some more.
He's a wrestling machine. He's an amateur, but he's becoming more of a well-rounded fighter. Whatever his opponent brings to the table, Pargev's going to have an answer for it.
Oh, big suplex!
It came off a very close decision loss in a fight that I thought he won.
Wow, I thought that definitely went the other way.
Next fight, he didn't want anyone else. He said, I want the same guy, and I'm walking away with a victory.
Anybody stepping up against Pargev realizes that they're going to have to spend a good chunk of every round on their back.
Suplex City, USA!
For the first time in quite a while, Pargev can finally face forward instead of looking back over his shoulder. At 2-1, he's got a shot to ascend and become a champion.
Here we go again. Wow. I think that's what the theme is. Wow, of this card. I feel like I'm almost speechless for some of these. This is amazing that we get to watch these 2 guys go at it. Like you said, it's a pedigree, right?
Yeah, and that's what the matchmakers do here. Ryan Buckner, the amateur matchmaker, and George Bostramajian, the professional matchmaker, they look for fights that either one of these guys has got a chance to win. There's no one-sided fights in Up Next Fighting. And if they are one-sided fights, they're decided by the fighters themselves in the cage. It's not something where we're putting one juggernaut up against a guy who's not that very good.
All right, and speaking of someone who's not speechless, let's go over to Schmo with the weigh-in.
For another Schmoment.
Thanks, guys. Up next, we have the interim Flyweight Rising Stars title on the line. Weighing in first out of the blue corner, we have Nathan Hawthorne. 125.
Right on weight.
And his opponent, out of the red corner, we have the Armenian shoulder, Pargan Karpatria! 126.
Amazing matchmaking on this one, like you were saying, Dustin. It's like these guys are perfectly lined up, dialed in,
focused, intense.
And you see that gold hanging in the balance there. Title on the line.
All right, Nathan, we'll start with you. You come in here, you got the interim Rising Stars title on the line. What are the emotions going through your mind right now?
No emotions, man. It's like another day in the office for me. I already got 3 belts. It's going to be a 4th one.
Both you guys have like 0% body fat, man. What was your preparation like heading into this fight?
Շատ լավ պատրաստվել, անցել եմ քեմփ, որը 3 ամսից է բաղկացած եղել։ Մերսի բոլոր իմ ընկերներին ու տրեներներին, ովքեր որ իմ կողքին են եղել։ Հակառակորդիս է միայն հաջողություն։
He said, thank you to all my friends and my training partners and my coaches for helping me throughout my training camp. I had a long training camp, 3 months, and it was the best training camp yet, and I'm ready for war.
What will be people saying after your performance inside the Up Next fighting cage tomorrow evening?
Wow, it was a war. And it's going to be a war, and I'm ready for a war. I know he's ready, I'm ready. So let's throw down, put on a show for the people.
Your opponent's ready for a war. He's ready to show down for the people. What do you have to say about that?
Ես էլ եմ միշտ պատրաստ պատերազմի, սա սպորտ է, կհաղթեն, ով որ ավելի ուժեղ կլինի։
Saying whoever's the strongest is going to be the winner. He's always ready for war and always will be.
2 men ready for war, gold on the line. Does it get bigger than this? Guys, back to you.
Yeah.
Wow. I love the Michael Myers approach. No emotion
No
from
emotion.
Nathan. He's got the mask on. Like, I always feel like if you, in everything, man, whether anything you do, if you can control your emotions and almost be emotionless. I've worked really hard on that, but I know what it can do if you can be emotionless, because I feel like you're going to bring your best game when you don't have that. And when somebody's no emotion, that's a dangerous place to go into an opponent with. It's a hard place to get to, right? Because this game's an emotional, what we do, you know, for this is the career. Yeah. It's emotional, and you're fighting, which brings more emotion into it. And both guys looked ready, let's just call it. But to see that was great.
And Nathan, though, he's a 135-pounder naturally, so he's come down in weight. I don't know if maybe the weight cut might be tough on him. He did look like he lost a lot of weight for this one, but he's going to be going in there kind of the bigger, stronger guy after they rehydrate. So I don't know. Pargev's going to have his work cut out for him.
Yeah, and you know, both these guys, we talked about their pedigree. You know, Nathan's a multiple belt holder. Pargev's trying to pick up his first. Very well-rounded amateurs that you will see in the pro ranks eventually. And hopefully we get to see him in the pro ranks here and Up Next Fighting. But the most important thing about this fight that I see happening is what develops in the first round. The first round for me is going to tell the story of the entire fight. If Pargev's able to get to the legs and control with the takedown, it could be a long night for Mr. Hawthorne. Yeah. But if Hawthorne's able to uncork those high kicks and catch, you know, Pargev on his way in with a knee or an uppercut, you know, when you're shooting for a takedown, you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable to the knee. You're vulnerable to the uppercut. It's if you're explosive through the takedown, then you take away a little bit of that vulnerability. But if he shoots lazily, he could be in for a long night. He could get rocked. So this is good. You know, this fight's going to develop in the first round. In the first 30 or 40 seconds, we're going to see who's going to take control.
No feeling out at all in this one.
And you're going to see this is going to be a fight of adjustments, right? Because if you know, if he can't impose his ground game, how is he going to adjust? Or the flip side, if he imposes his ground game, how does Nathan adjust, right? Because this is both very different styles, and so, like you said, that's dictated typically in the first round rather quickly. And so if the other opponent does, who in the corner is going to be able to change up and adjust to what's going on? Because that can determine, because otherwise you go 3 rounds of him just imposing your will if you're not able to adjust. But it goes back to the great coaching, right? That's where I think great coaching comes in your corner and says, hey, this is what you have to do to get out of this.
Yeah, very often when I'm commentating a fight, I'll even say, you know, this fight could be won in the corner between rounds. Yeah. You know, because a small adjustment might be all that's needed to sway the momentum. And in fighting, in mixed martial arts especially, it's the small movements, it's the small adjustments that make the difference in the game. So if Nathan sees something after the first round, or if he gets through the first round, if he can adapt his strategy, or if Pargev can adapt his strategy to Nathan's, like you said, that could end up being what determines the winner of the fight.
Yeah, great coaches need great players, and great players need great coaches. And when you combine that, man, it's a deadly combination.
Yeah, well, talk about a deadly combination. Up next, we've got our fourth title fight of the night, David Rojas versus Eduardo Zarate. So what do you guys know about these two? I mean, Rojas in particular, we've seen him a number of times. His Matrix-level defense in his last fight. He's leaning back, dodging kicks like it was slow-mo. And, you know, I think either of these guys could probably step into the pro ranks right now.
Yeah, and with Rojas, we've seen before, like, you know, he's an animal. He comes out, he's got a lot of dog in him. If anything, sometimes he can be lured into a brawl, which, you know, when you're trying to stay technical, could work against you. But he's a dog. He steps up to what his opponent brings. So if his opponent's super aggressive, then David's super aggressive. If his opponent is relaxed and calm, then David tries to take control of the fight with his aggression. So it all depends on, you know, this is another fight that, you know, the first feeling out process in that opening round is going to be what determines who takes advantage of this fight early. And I think whoever takes advantage early is going to end up with their hand raised
And
at the
look,
end.
man, he's got the best hair on the fight card right now. He's got the Henderson hair, so you got to give him something, nothing else, man. That guy's got the best hair in the game.
Using that purple conditioner,
Yeah.
it looks good.
All right, and we are going back to the Schmo to weigh these guys in. David Rojas versus Eduardo Zarate.
All right, guys, we have another title fight weighing in on the line. We have the Rising Stars bantamweights coming up to the scale for the title. The challenger on the blue corner, the Peruvian Nightmare, Eduardo Zarate. $135.
Right on weight.
And his opponent, the reigning, defending champion, out of the red corner, David Rojas. 135.8. And correction, vacant title on the line.
All right.
Gentlemen, face each other. Face forward. David, we'll start with you. Fighting for the belt on the line. What's going through your mind right now?
Feeling focused, feeling prepared. I'm just ready to take what's mine tomorrow.
The Peruvian Nightmare, what are your expectations for yourself inside the Up Next fighting cage tomorrow evening?
Tomorrow I'm just gonna put out a show. I'm ready to fight, ready to do this shit.
Final prediction?
Me winning.
Final thoughts?
Taking that from him. Me winning.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the vacant bantamweight title on the line. Give it up for these two. Guys, back to you.
All right, and joining us now, we got Dave Roberts from Hayastan. How you doing, Coach?
Yeah, the future's so bright, man. Got the shades on, rocking. We're ready to go. Welcome, my man.
Really sunny in
It's
here.
sunny out here, man. Let's go.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. So you got some Hayastan fighters on this card?
Yes, sir, we do. Fedia Chobanyan, he'll be fighting his second fight on UNF. Great kid, great talent, amazing grappling. His striking has improved so much. I can't wait for him to display some of that. We're excited, man. The kid's been working hard, and he's ready to put on a show for you guys.
How do you get guys prepared for this moment, right? Because this is a big moment. What is the things that you do to get them ready for it mentally?
I tell them that they have to enjoy every second of it and leave it up to God. You know, they put in all the hard work in the gym, and you know they're really dedicated. They're motivated. They're in there every single day, and you know they can't get caught up in their emotions and feelings, and they just have to trust the process and that they're ready and to have fun and leave it up to God. You know, it's a fight. They're ready. The other guy's ready. We like our chances better, obviously. So you know they got to stay calm, relax, and go out there and get it done.
What's Fedia's game plan going into this one? You think he's going to rely on that wrestling that you guys are known for?
Man, you know, Gokor Trevichon's academies are very well known for its grappling, its judo. You know, Fed, he's got amazing wrestling, and you know, it's always going to be a great backup plan for him. Yeah, so I think he's definitely going to use his wrestling. He's going to mix it up. He's definitely going to strike. He's going to do it all. You know, he's a mixed martial artist, and the kid's getting better and better. His last fight, he finished in about 40 seconds, rear naked choke, and I think he's gonna mix it all up really well. I think he's gonna get the finish.
First round finish?
I think he'll finish him in the first round. Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
I really think so.
And he goes, how when you get two matchups that are close, and just from your perspective, how important it is for a fighter to have a good game plan and the good coaching, right? You take two style-looking matches. What goes into play, and like, what's your thought process on that?
Right. So, I mean, as far as the game plan goes, you know, Fed's got. I'm not his only main coach. You know, he at our gym, we're really rich in coaches. You know, we got Daniel Serafian, Brian Del Rosario. Brian's a Muay Thai legend. Daniel's a 20-fight UFC veteran. I have pro boxing record. I have a pro MMA record. And, you know, the way we get our game plan ready against a tough opponent, don't get me wrong, when I think my guy's going to finish in the first round, we got a really game opponent. A guy that, you know, brings all the right skills to mixed martial arts bout. But the way we get him ready and we put our game plan together is to really incorporate the grappling by having a very fast-paced fight. And we got that grappling cardio. So if we keep pushing the pace, inevitably, you know, these guys are gonna break. So what we want him to do is we want him to control the pace. We want him to push the pace forward and be really aggressive. And that's really the key to fighting, any kind of fighting, is the guy that's pushing the pace and moving forward and extremely relentless is going to get the job done. And that's our game plan. Our game plan is to just run through this guy.
That's why you got that first round prediction. You know, we were talking Josh Barnett before, and you know, hearing him talk about that first round is a lot of times when things get decided. It's very different in MMA than boxing and Muay Thai, where a lot of times even the first round they're feeling each other out. You look at any like a Mayweather fight, he loses a lot of the first rounds.
He does.
And then he goes back to the corner, puts it all on his computer. He's got him figured out, and he's winning the rest of the match. Not so in MMA.
Absolutely not.
Right out the gate, you guys are going to come out there foot on the gas.
In an MMA fight, you have to establish yourself and your skill set in the first round. There's no question about it. And our game plan is to take control right away, push the pace, and, you know, handle this guy.
All right, well, it sounds like we got one more coming up to the scale here. Let's see who we got. Oh, yeah, Matthew Nestor versus Joshua Brown.
Let's go to the Schmo. They're ready.
Thanks, guys. Up next in the Rising Stars, we have a catchweight of 150 pounds. Up first out of the blue corner, we have Downtown Josh Brown. 150 even. And his opponent, out of the red corner, Mr. Nasty, Matthew Nestor.
Mr. Nasty's been trying to get a fight for a few months.
151.2. Gentlemen, square off right here in the center.
It's going to be a good fight.
Oh, here we go. You love it.
Oh, yeah.
Little Conor McGregor action out of you, Downtown Josh Brown. Making your debut, what are the nerves like for you?
You know, they're natural nerves, but God's got my back, and I'm built for this. I've been wrestling a long time, preparing for this moment, and I'm very excited to get in there.
Mr. Nasty, you come prepared. We've seen you compete. What have you been working on since the last time we saw you inside the Up Next fighting cage?
A whole bunch. You know, I had like 9 people say no before this, so I didn't really have a set game plan. I was just trying to get myself very well-rounded, and I think I did a good job of that.
Downtown, you're stepping up inside the cage. What will you consider a great performance for yourself tomorrow evening inside the cage?
Just war, baby, war. That's what I'm here for. Let's go.
He's here for war. We'll let you get the final word. Mr. Nasty, you heard him. War.
Same here. He couldn't said it any better. Here for war.
Can't wait to see it. Give it up for these two, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Guys, back to you.
A 6'3", 150 pound. It's gonna be difficult. I mean, that'd be difficult
Gotta
to
get
get ready
in on
for.
that.
Does it
against a wrestler?
Yeah, against a wrestler. Does that at some point, right? Like, there's a confidence that people don't want to fight you. Like you have a confidence, but at what point though, when 9 people say no, does it almost become a negative? Do you start getting in your head a little bit about that as a fighter or coach? Is that have you seen that before?
I mean, I don't think you get in your head about it. I just think you built this confidence that everyone's afraid of you, and it works in his advantage. But at the same time, it's going to be tough to get him the right fights to build him up, because if everyone's saying no, then you're going to have to fight a killer. But I mean, that's what the sport is. To level up and fight the guys that are going to get you to that next stage.
And Matthew, he's 1-1, but that loss is he wasn't finished. He actually tore his own ACL in the fight. And so they the doctor had to call it. So nobody's finished him. He was actually winning that fight too. So he's very dominant, very confident fighter. But yeah, no one would take this fight. And then he had one on the card for UNF15, and he got sick too. So he's been in camp for a very long time.
Yeah.
The guy's dialed in. Cool matchmaking, like you said, a lanky striker, long reach, going against a scrappy wrestler.
And you have to, right? And I love what you said earlier, David. I think is touch on it a lot, or people don't touch on it enough. But you mentioned about, you said in a way, we're not really worried about what the other guy's doing because we're going to impose our will. And I think that's a strength. You see a lot of people almost start training their weaknesses, trying to prepare for somebody else's strength, and don't do that. Keep preparing for what got you there, and double and triple down on your strengths, right? And I've watched a lot of this in the game where you'll see somebody's fighting a wrestler and immediately they just start working on jiu-jitsu and wrestling over the top, and they forget about what got them there. And I think, for a situation for fighters up and coming, man, how important is that to, you want to be well-rounded, you want to train in all aspects, but if you're a phenomenal striker, focus on your striking. If you're a phenomenal jiu-jitsu, focus on your jiu-jitsu and go impose your will.
Absolutely, man. I mean, if you start worrying about what the other guy does better than you, you don't have enough time to camp to level up that particular skill to match whatever you're worried about. If Muay Thai got you to the dance, obviously you're an MMA fighter, you have to have some kind of level of grappling. But if Muay Thai got you that dance, man, double down on that Muay Thai, try to crack this dude and finish him, So you gotta double down on your skill set, and off camp work on everything else that doesn't work out. In camp, you don't have the time.
Absolutely.
All right, some wisdom from Coach. Thanks, appreciate it. All right, next up to the scale, we got Brian Valle versus Adam Holy Hands Haltom. Over to you, Schmo.
It's a schmoment.
Ladies and gentlemen, up next, weighing in the Rising Stars Bantamweight division, out of the blue corner, we have Adam Holy Hands Haltom. 132.6. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, we have Byron Valle.
Valle is another guy, everyone's been ducking him.
134 even.
Very hard to find him an opponent.
Gentlemen, face each other.
Super intense, guys. This is a definitely cold stare down.
Face forward. All right, Adam, you saw the intensity out of your opponent. How do you feel about your matchup tomorrow evening inside the cage with this man?
I feel good. I feel ready. He looks ready. I know he knows how to swing, and I believe I swing harder, so we're going to find out. We're going to see tomorrow.
Okay.
You go by Holy Hands, so how would you summarize your fight style?
Fast shots, accurate shots. I hit right on the button, and that's what I hope to achieve tomorrow.
Intense stare down out of you, man. The Schmo saw you clenching your jaw. What'd you see out of your opponent's eyes when you stared him down?
Man, I see that he's ready too. I think we're probably going to put on a fight of the night performance for sure. I know that he knows how to box. I think my boxing's better though, and I'm just a better martial artist.
Can we get an official prediction out of you?
I'm looking for a finish, man. I'm ready. This is the best camp I've had, so I'm ready.
You're ready to go?
Yes, sir.
He's ready to go. Final thoughts?
I'm ready to go, so let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Shake hands, gentlemen. Guys, back to you.
Let's go. Rocking the Mookie bets.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's ready. And he said hit it right on the button, little baseball
That's right,
reference.
that's
He's
right.
ready.
Yeah, these guys are intense. I love it. This is the type of energy we need.
Yeah, so Adam Haltom, I've seen him fight a couple times now. Yeah, he's not, just bragging about himself. Very accurate striker. Really just target, sniper style. And then Valle, I haven't seen him in the cage yet. I think it's been a little while since he's been in because it's been very hard to get an opponent for him.
Yeah, I wonder if Adam was wearing the Mookie because he's got 2 home runs on the season. He said he's going to hit a home run tomorrow night. You got to love that, using some baseball reference, super accurate striker. Maybe there's a little play there with wearing the Mookie. I like it. Little head games.
Little head games, right? Yeah, getting his head.
The striker versus striker fights, man, they're always so exciting to watch.
Yeah.
You got to love when 2 guys want to meet in the middle and just slug it out. It's truly a beautiful thing, isn't it?
It is great to watch them just throw down with, you hate to say no care, but almost that reckless abandon.
Yeah.
If you look at some of the greatest fights, like remember Forrest Griffin and obviously the late, Stephen Bond, that was just an incredible fight, one of the most memorable ones you can ever think of. And just, I used to love watching like the Anderson Silva striking. People would always try to outstrike him. Like, what are you doing?
Spinning elbows.
Yeah,
that's how you get fight of the night.
Yeah,
Just slug it out.
Yeah, those are always fun to watch. And this one's going to be intense at 135, right? I did notice a couple of the guys coming in 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds underweight. Does that give you some type of disadvantage? I know weight is a factor for weight classes for a reason, but a couple of the guys coming underweight, you think that's going to play a bigger factor?
I mean, my guy came underweight. Fed was supposed to come in 165. He stood on the scale at 163. I mean, the weight matters, and, you should try to come in at your healthy weight. You don't want to go below your weight. But at the same time, my fighter in particular, he's supposed to be fighting really 155. He just doesn't like cutting weight. So this whole time, every fight he's ever had is at 170. He's a really, really strong kid. Like, physically, he's a monster. So he can fight against 170ers. And I think he's going to shock everybody when he actually starts fighting in his proper weight class at 155. And, yeah, I think fighters need to properly cut weight and do it the right way. Coming in underweight is terrible. You don't want to, every single pound matters if you're going against, a guy that's heavier than you, every advantage.
But you said something that I think it's more important to be, would you say it'd be more important to be up a weight class but be healthy weight, or, cutting too much weight and almost being unhealthy, right?
It's hard to say. You definitely want to be healthy, first and foremost.
All right, and then going back to the Schmo, we've got 2 pro debuts on this next one. It's Travis Horan versus Min Young.
Thanks, guys. We have 2 men making their debuts right here on the scale at a catch weight of 180 pounds. Introducing out of the blue corner, we have Min Young. 182 pounds even.
This will be the biggest fight we have on the card.
And his opponent out of the red corner, the Vanilla Gorilla, Travis Horan. Living up to the nickname. All right, there it is. 179.2. Gentlemen, face each other right here.
All right, pro debut. Travis has had a long road to get here.
Face forward.
The big boys. Biggest fight of the night.
That's what I like to see. All right.
All right, Travis, man. Debut, what are the nerves like for you right now?
I got like 0 nerves. I'm ready to go. And that's about it, man. I mean, I made weight. I don't know about homeboy, but that's cool.
Where'd you get the nickname?
What do you think I got the nickname?
No guesses out of the Schmo. Man, what are the nerves like right now making your debut here with Up Next fighting?
Just excited. Just can't wait till tomorrow.
Can we get a prediction out of you?
We'll find out tomorrow.
Find out tomorrow? Any means necessary to get your hand raised? Exactly. Exactly. Final thoughts?
I don't think much. I just all action. Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Give it up for these 2, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, back to you.
All right. That was an interesting stare down.
Yeah.
We got Maddie Guzman here from
Munchin Meal Preps.
I'm disappointed. We didn't get any whiskey. We didn't get any food. We should have had the whiskey
Yeah,
and
yeah,
got to
come
the
on.
food.
Hey, there's some food out there still.
All right,
Go
we're
get
going to
some.
get food.
So tell us about Munchin Meal Preps. You guys are bringing meals for all the fighters after they weigh in?
Yeah, we're here providing meals for all the fighters, getting them refueled, and honestly, just ready to go. I know the fighters go through like really hard cuts, and it's hard. This is like the hardest part when it comes to fighting is just making weight, and it's stressful, it's frustrating, and to be able to provide meals for them is great. We have a lot of love for the fighters, and honestly, we're here for anyone that is just trying to be healthy, trying to have has a specific health goal, whether it's trying to lose weight, gain weight, maintain, whatever it is. We'd love to help. We're like a really good support system in that way. And we're based in Southern California. We're a macro-based company.
Okay.
And yeah, we're here to help anyone.
What got you started in doing the meal prepping and the healthy meal prepping? How long you been doing it, and what got you started in it?
Oof, let's see. I've been doing it maybe 4 years. Maybe the first year wasn't too serious.
Yeah.
I study nutrition and dietetics. It's
Okay.
what I do. I just have some friends who are within this world, and I meal prep for myself. But I think we got really into the fighters just due to connections and seeing the struggle that they go through in this world. And I feel like there's not a lot of talk about nutrition and how important it is. And I don't think you don't have to struggle that much to make weight.
Yeah.
And I think if we inform them, if we provide them better nutrition, we could even probably have better outcomes, better fights, more energy in there.
Yeah.
Someone in the previous interview you guys had, every pound counts, and I so agree with that.
Yeah.
Every pound counts, because that's energy right there.
And the right pounds, right? You said something, the macros. And if you could touch on that for maybe people that don't know, but how important is that? Because you just don't want to get calories. Where do the macros come into play, and how can they benefit these fighters or athletes in general?
Correct, yeah. So macros, when we're talking about macros, we're going to talk about your proteins. So your macronutrients, we're talking proteins, fats, carbohydrates, right? Protein, we all know, builds muscles, carbs. And this is where a lot of, I guess, media and you just hear talk about carbs, and it's if you want to drop weight, you got to stay away from carbohydrates. And honestly, that's not the case. You need carbs for energy, especially when we're going to jump right into a fight, or right now, once they weighed in. The first thing I would have loved for them to have was the fruit that we had, and we had an electrolyte drink as well, because carbs are simple carbs too. They're fast acting. It's gonna be energy that's gonna be available to the body a lot faster. Protein, yes, it is very important. However, if you're about to have about to jump into a workout, I'm not going to tell someone, go have a protein-packed meal. Why? Because your body is now going to use that energy to digest the protein, and we don't want that at that moment. We want energy to be provided in our action.
And so many people don't realize that they think, and the food is such a key component, but people think healthy options, they think it doesn't taste good, right? And I know we do this where I'm from, and there are great, places out there that provide the right macros, the right calorie count for your body, your time, but they taste good. So there's the options out there, right? And it's such a big thing for you. How do you do them? How do you be able to get that? We'll answer it next. We're going to have a weigh-in, but we'll talk to you about how you get prepared for them, for these fighters. Hopefully both of these guys are on weight. If not, maybe you can get them some.
Yeah, we'll see. Fingers crossed they are.
All right, so we got Brian Navaro versus Axel Conrad, and they're heading over to the Schmo at the scales.
Thanks, guys. Weighing in next, we have a catch weight at 160 pounds. Introducing first, out of the blue corner, he goes by the Ninja, Axel Conrad.
The Ninja to the scale.
Somebody getting their first win in this bout.
157.4 for the Ninja. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, we have Brian Navaro.
All right, Brian's debut.
158.4. Gentlemen, let's face each other in front of the scale.
Brian is moving in on him already.
Let's go, bro. Let's go. Let's go.
The theme of the night.
Face
Let's
forward.
go.
Here we go.
All right, Brian, we're going to start with you making your debut. What are the nerves like at this very moment?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Fuck that, let's go.
He's ready to go. You heard his voice?
Yes, sir.
He's ready to go. Axel, my man, the ninja. Got a game opponent. He's ready to go. What's going through your mind right now?
You know, I feel good, dialed in and ready to kill. My nerves are under control. I've done everything that I needed to do to win this fight. I have an amazing team, like I always said, but yeah, it's good. Respect to my opponent for taking the fight. I'm ready to fight 3 hard rounds, but I think I'm gonna get it done inside 2.
How would you describe your fighting style?
Shit, I'm a brawler. I like to get in there and I like to get dirty. You know, let's get it.
You're going to get dirty inside that cage tomorrow night.
Right in that one. Let's go.
Point it out. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's go, baby.
All right, Axel, final words, man, before we see you compete inside that cage tomorrow evening.
I just want to say thank you to my team. My boy Weston Quiroz fighting for the lightweight title tomorrow. He's gonna fucking perform his ass off and win. And then my boy Danny Labastida too. He's ready to win. And amazing team behind me at Pugilis Gym. We have, I believe, the best gym honestly in the world. And shout out to my master too, John Jack Machado. I believe he's the greatest of all time, you know. And let's go. Trained under the best, trained to be the best, you know.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to? We just love your opponent.
Yeah, sure. No. The whole team at Legacy, the Vanilla Gorilla, fucking Alpha Lee, Matthew Nasty Nestor, you know? Yeah, great team around us.
We love to see it. We love the respect. 2 great teams here competing and up next fighting. Guys, back to you.
All right, we're still here with Maddie from Munchin Meals. And so, yeah, what do you think? These guys look like they cut a lot of weight. Can you see it in their faces at all?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. But I mean, I know it's a part of the game, and I know it's something that they have to do. But just once again, there's a good way to go about it, right? You don't have to starve yourself. You don't have to you don't have to suffer that much to make weight. And I think if they're provided more information or more knowledge about nutrition, they're going to have an easier wake up. They're going to have an easier camp. They're going to be able to have that energy and give it their all.
Yeah, I think about, a lot of guys that say, oh, I'm a street fighter. I just see red, and then they fight a trained guy with an actual coach, and it's a whole different game. And nutrition's the same way. You're like a coach, right? You help them get their calories and, their macros. You can't just wing it. Right?
No. Yeah.
You need a plan, and you need somebody who has a background in nutrition to guide you, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it makes it easier. It's a lot. It's helpful. It can make just the whole weight cut a lot easier.
Yeah, and it's the time, right? Time is the essence. Imagine if you're cooking your food every day. Let's just say 30 minutes you're preparing it, or you go to the store, you have it there. But a few hours a week, having it already prepared for you gives you more time to train, gives you more time to do other things. And I believe that's a huge factor, especially when you're trying to reach a level of success. Time is so valuable to you. And I know they should be doing it all the time. You should be watching your nutrition. But for your professional recommendation, when should fighters really, really start to focus on the weight cut? When could you really step in and benefit them? Obviously, I know all the time, but you think, 90-day camp, 60 days, 30 days, where's kind of that window for you that you see the most success?
I think when it comes to making weight, if a fighter knows they're going to fight coming up soon, I honestly feel like they should walk around in a weight that's close to it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously comfortably. If you're struggling too much to stay there, then we're going to have you at a higher weight. But I would always just recommend staying close to that weight. So then when you do have to cut, and it does get to the nitty gritty, you're not over here, oh crap, I have to drop 30 pounds in 2 weeks. That's I'm not if I was speaking to someone that wasn't fighting and they were coming up to me and they were telling me, oh, I need to drop 20. If they were telling me they need to drop 5 pounds in a week, I would be like, no, we're not going to do that. And if it is, it's going to be water weight,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
All right. I think we got this may be the last matchup of the night. Fedya Chobayan versus Jeffrey Bishop. Over to you, Schmo.
All right, switch out, guys.
Thanks, guys. Last but not least, weighing in at 165-pound Schmo division, out of the blue corner, we have Jeffrey Einsoff Bishop. 165 even. And his opponent, coming out of the red corner, we have Fedya Chobanyan. 163.8. Gentlemen, face each other here in front of the scale.
All right, Fedya versus Jeffrey Bishop. Jeffrey Bishop's an interesting guy. I got to interview him. He's a Reiki master.
Face forward.
Energy healing.
All right, Jeffrey, we're going to start with you. Love the glasses, by the way, man. What was training like for you? Oh, appreciate that. What was training like for you for this fight?
It was good. It was good. A lot of studying him. He has a beautiful style, great evolution from you seeing how he came as a wrestler. Very creative style, and then even took up his defense and made it even very much of a fortified style with his wrestling and bringing everything to be a win for him. Everything's been dope, and I love the way he comes into it. It's beautiful, and he's also got a real good heart. He makes that shit look like Dragon Ball Z, so I'm with it.
Studious fighter. Fedya, nothing but respect out of you. What are your expectations performing against that man inside the Up Next fighting cage tomorrow evening?
Of course, it's gonna be a great fight, guys. I like the guy. He's such a G. All the chickens docked me, you know. So this guy is the guy. He came to fight. I'm ready to put on the show. Like, I think I'm gonna take him out in the first round. All respectfully, okay? No trash talk. But after the fight, we can get a pizza or something if you want. Okay?
Not bad idea. Not bad idea. Respectfully, first round. That's what he's predicting. Why is that not going to be the case, my man?
I mean, it's going to go both ways. That's how it's going to be. So if he thinks it's going to be first round, I mean, you know, the universe says what goes around comes around.
Wow, there it is. Final thought?
Love that. Let's put on a show. Let's go.
Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for these two gentlemen. Guys, back to you.
All right. So we are back. That was the final weigh-in of UNF17, the 17th bout. And we're here with Brian Del Rosario, a veteran of UNF, fought in Burbank many times himself, and now you're the coach over at Highest Stand. So Fedya, you just seen your boy up on the scale. He looks ready to go.
Oh yeah, he's definitely ready. He's been preparing for this for quite some time. As you guys know, he's a phenomenal wrestler, good grappler, or great grappler. He's been working with me, he's been doing striking, and I think he's ready for this. He's been ready.
He's got a unique opponent in Jeffrey Bishop. Have you guys studied him at all? You see some tape on him?
Yeah, we studied some tape on him, but I don't think it's anything new for Fed's style. I think his style is just going to out-trump it. And, you know, there's nothing that he could throw to win this fight. I think Fed got it in his pocket. He's a very game opponent, obviously, but I think Fed got this. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah, he's a real aggressive, wrestling-heavy style, right?
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
I wonder what Jeffrey's going to bring. I know he's a striker, and then we were talking. He said he's a Reiki healer. He dresses real good too. He's got a lot of drip.
Smooth,
So
swaggy, he's got some drip.
He got some drip.
He had the glasses too, man. He's super intelligent. Referenced Dragon Ball Z, and he had a lot of respect for his opponent. You could tell. It looked a lot of fun.
Yeah, and, you know, with the glasses, I see we had Roberts on earlier, and now we got you. You guys are all wearing shades. Is this like a thing with the coaches at Highest Stand?
I just don't want to show what I look like. I'm tired, you know, and my eyes are a little bit droopy right now.
Come on, man. We got a long weekend ahead of us. We got fights tomorrow, and then the after party. You gonna be there?
No, I'm probably not partying, but you know, just go get some coffee or something and hang out with the boys.
And the future's so bright, man. That's the other thing, right? Future's so bright, you got to keep the shades on.
Yeah, the lights, you know, I'm not used to it anymore. You know what I mean? The bright lights in my eyes, you know. I'm Asian already. My eyes are squinted. They're gonna be like, hey, what's wrong with this guy?
Yeah. How is the difference from what are the nerves like going from a fighter to a coach? Like, what's the difference, man? Is it which one's worse? Like, which nerves are worse? Because
I feel like it's worse being a coach because you can't really do anything about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you're a fighter, you get to do things, you get to calm yourself down, and then you get to go inside the cage and handle business. But when you're watching from the outside, you can't really do anything but just kind of yell and scream and hope for the best. You know.
And
prepared them for the fight, but that's about it.
And you have this emotional investment in it. It's almost like your kids, not in a derogatory way.
It's like your kid, pretty much. It's like your kid. He's like my little brother or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like you don't want to see him get hurt. You don't want to see anything happen. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, but I just want us to, I want us to win.
Yeah,
exactly.
How do you channel not only their emotions but your emotions? What are some things you do, because emotions got to be high, especially too. I know like when my kids do anything, it's like I'm more nervous wreck when my kids do something than I am me, right? So I can understand that. How do you channel your emotions becoming a coach, and then what are some things you help them channel theirs?
That's a good question.
I just stay calm. I breathe and I stay calm and make sure I don't bring that nervous energy, because your student's going to feed off of that. If your coach is nervous, then he's going to become nervous. So you got to be that rock, that stone, and just, not really show anything, not show any emotion, and just be there. Be there with them and
Lead
ride
by
the roller
example.
coaster. Exactly.
And if you do get nervous or have bad energy, you could call up Bishop, because he's the energy coach. Right?
He'll heal you remotely.
Yeah.
From his home. Yeah.
Just, we're good. But it's nothing but good vibes. There's nothing personal. Oh.
We think got a little cue there. So Brian, are you going to keep fighting? Are we going to see you back in the cage or what?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've been helping me and my partner Dave. We've been helping this gym grow, and as soon as everything settles in, we're looking to get some fights over here at Up Next. You know what I mean? It's going to be great. Hopefully, we'll be on the same card, and then we get to show out for our gym and have everybody come through and watch.
That would be amazing.
Oh,
I
that would
mean,
be
leading
great.
from the front.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Not just watching from behind.
Your students will have that much more confidence in you.
It's going to be
These guys
great.
put their money where their mouth is.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Leading the way. That'd be sick.
Do you want that fight to be in Burbank? You fought here a lot.
Oh, it's right in your backyard, so of course you want everybody to come
Yeah.
through. It's not far for anybody. It's just right around the block. So it's like, this is where you want it to be,
Anybody else at highest stand right now that we should have our eye on? Any new fighters coming up?
Oh, we got Arshag. You guys, he's spotting Up Next. Arshag is the animal. He's a beast.
I think we're going to actually have an interview with him shortly. The Schmo is going to have a little chat with Arshag. Yeah, we saw him fight at the Commerce Casino several months back, and there were more people there to see him than any fighter I've ever seen. It was
Popular
like
kid,
kids,
popular kid. Yeah,
200 children screaming for him.
Yeah, I mean, our gym is a family-oriented gym. Everybody comes through, and everyone's come out and support and show their love. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to go. They don't want him to go in there alone. They want everybody to know, or he wants everybody to know that we're there in spirit and watching and cheering him on.
Yeah.
Also, he goes to UCLA. And he has all of his buddies come through, his little frat bros, you know what I mean? So
the
it's
frat
like,
bros,
yeah, you want to come out and support, it's his brothers.
A big fan of Arshag, and all right, he's over there with the Schmo now. Let's have over to you, Dave.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Arshag Dorian. Arshag, you just saw all the fighters come here on stage to weigh in for Up Next Fighting 17. What are you looking forward to the most out of this show?
Well, I got a lot of friends fighting on this show tomorrow, so I'm super excited. I've never really been this invested into watching a card, so especially one of my best friends, Fed, fighting tomorrow. I know he's going to get a first-round finish. He's always ready to dominate. I see how hard he works in the gym day in and day out. He goes everywhere, man. He's training all day long. This is his life, so it's always great to be able to sit in the audience and then watch everybody's hard work pay off.
Talk to the Schmo for a second. What does the gym culture look like when you guys are competing inside the cage over there, inside the mats of your gym? What's the competition like?
There's a good amount of competition, but we're more like a family, so it's not like guys are walking into the gym every day like, oh, I want to kill this guy in sparring, I want to kill that guy in sparring. Yeah, we do kill each other in sparring like any other gym, but we're a family, we're close, we dig around a lot, we just have a lot of fun together, so that's how we get better.
You're no stranger to the Up Next Fighting cage. Explain to us what it's like competing inside that cage. What are the nerves like going through your mind every time you go out there and put on a show?
Well, of course, it's nerve-wracking. Anybody that tells you otherwise is just lying to you, but it's always a good experience to go in there. You get to learn a lot about yourself. How do I get to control those nerves, which I always do a great job of, I think, because I always perform well. But yeah, it's a great experience just to feel all those emotions and go in there and do what nobody else wants to do.
There it is, man. We're about a third way into 2024. What are your expectations for yourself for the remainder of this year?
I'm just focused on becoming the best martial artist I can be, and then hopefully at the end of the fight we could get back in that cage and show what we do best.
How would you describe your fighting style in 2 words or less?
Hardcore.
Hardcore.
Yeah. because I just want to put the pain on guys, and I think at the end of the year, we're really going to see that.
And what's up next for you, my man? What are you working on?
Up next, I'm going to graduate college this quarter, and then I'm going to go right back to fighting all the time.
He's a scholar and a fighter. Final words for all the audience tuning in here worldwide.
Let's go, Team Hayastan. That's it.
There it is, man. We appreciate your time. Guys, wrap things up. Up next, Fighting 17.
All right, thank you, Schmo. How about that? Arshag Dorian going to graduate from college, and it's straight back to the school of hard knocks.
That's right. Yeah, at his last fight, he was taking a little bit of trash talk, saying his opponent was calling him a frat boy, and he said, "This frat boy is going to kick your ass."
And he did.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. I mean, let's talk about the event as a whole. All right, you 17 for 17. It's fitting. It just must be. It must have been made to be, because it's not often when you have such a fight-heavy card where nothing goes wrong.
Yeah.
Nothing falls out. And that's a testament, honestly, to the professionalism of the fighters, to the matchmaking, that Ryan Buckner, George Basarmagian aren't booking fighters that are going to find an excuse or see their opponent and decide all of a sudden they don't want to step into the cage. We've got a full 17 fights, and guys, nearly a quarter of those fights, title fights.
Oh, man, I'm so excited. I guess I got to ask you guys, which one do you think is going to be fight of the night? Now that we've seen him weigh in, you get the body language.
Can I just pick the whole card?
Yeah.
Make it easy. I think if you go, I think there's 4 title fights, right? Those are obviously there for a reason. And shout out to the promotion, what you were saying too. I think when you have a great promotion as well, people want to fight for it because they know what's no pun intended, up next, right? You want to show up for this promotion. And you see a lot of, others out there. So when you put on a great promotion, you have great matchmaking, you don't want to miss your shot. And you know that if you come here and perform, what's next? And so I think if you look at the 4 title fights and then maybe a sleeper one, of course, Vasquez and Wells are going to be great, but I just think that Enrique fight is going to be fight of the night for the title fights, right?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a great fight. That's what I would go. I actually think the sleeper one was Travis Horan and the 180.
They're big boys.
Big boys.
Yeah.
Could be like a knockout. I think, both making their debut. So to see something, I think that could be like a sleeper fight of the night, right? But to go there, I know it's easy to pick one of the title fights, but kind of going both.
Yeah, incredible stuff. And I'll tell you, the title fights, of course, those are going to deliver. But I also look at like a Rodney Kealohi, right? This dude is intensity personified. He took the fight in short notice, but he wants to fight the best. And you've got Narek Avagian, who is coming off of a missed title opportunity that's looking to bounce back. So both of those guys have something to prove. Anytime you have Brian the Heat Dow in the cage, it's going to be a war.
That was going to be I think Brian the Heat Dow versus Carlos Figueroa, don't sleep on that one too. Yeah, the title fights, of course, they're all going to be amazing. But having seen both those guys, those are 2 martial artists at the top of their game. So Brian Dow versus Carlos Figueroa too, that has potential to be fight of the night too.
Since it's got to be our true fans that are sitting here and watching this, let's go over some of the particulars. Doors are going to open at 5 p.m. if you're going to be here live. And first fight will be at 6 p.m. And there's less than 100 tickets. So if you want to be here, act on it. Trust me, there's nothing quite like UNF Action Live. But if you can't be here, if you don't live in the Southern California area, you can go to Starfund Stream. And I mean, guys, if you were ever going to get your money's worth from a live streaming pay-per-view, 17 fights. I mean, it is a buffet of brutality here at UNF 17.
Less than $2 for a fight. And if you're not in Southern California, guess what, guys? Doors don't open until 5. Fights start at 6. You still have time to make it. So get over here. This is that.
And if you're late, you can come to the after party. New Money Fight Club's hosting it at the Over Under Bar in Burbank, right there.
There you go.
So all the fighters are going to come afterwards. You can hang with us, and all the guys who just come out of the cage and have a drink and celebrate.
And I'll tell you, and then if you are going to watch it on pay-per-view, in talking to a lot of our fighters and our pre-fight prep, a lot of them said that their families, friends, really all over the world, different countries are going to have watch parties. So you could do the same. Get some friends together. You won't be disappointed. And then the after party over and under public house. But I'll tell you this, we are in Burbank, guys. This is really an entertainment capital. A lot of the major studios are here. Hollywood, of course, Burbank, known for their blockbusters. Now this week we got Godzilla and Kong coming out. They often say that King Kong's got nothing on me. I don't think Godzilla and Kong combined have anything on this massive card at UNF 17.
And you know, one thing I really loved about this, you see a lot of the extra stuff in every, card and weigh-ins. There was none of that today. There was a lot of focused people ready to go. I mean, it was all business from top to bottom.
Professionals.
Yeah, it's true. Everybody was professional. Guys, for the most part on weight. Everybody showed up, right? All 17 fights, but you just saw it up there. Everybody was locked in and ready to go. Like, let's settle it tomorrow night. That was some of the most intense weigh-ins I've seen. Just the look, the focus, the chills. It was like back-to-back fight. You're like, this could be fight of the night. This could be fight of the night. This could be fight of the night.
True.
Literally, that's what I said. The whole card. So you don't want to miss this one. The 17 for 17. It's just ready to go. And I think the theme has been, let's go.
All right, guys, and of course we've got Realize, Recognize, and we've got New Money Fight Club. Tell our fans where they can follow.
Yeah, social media. You go to Realize, Recognize podcast. You can find us on there. Dustin Gutkowski on Instagram, Facebook. Go give us a follow. Reach out if you have any questions. We'd love to hear from you.
And yeah, we're New Money Fight Club. We're here on the West Coast covering mostly amateurs and up-and-coming pros. We're at all these different events, and UNF has been so great to open their doors to us. We've been to so many of their events now in the last year and a half, and yeah, they just keep getting better and better. Like you were saying, the level of professionalism, what they do for these fighters, you just don't really see this on other promotions in Southern California. These guys it's par for the course.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I have a guy that we work with in Texas, and I was like, man, you need to reach out to these guys.
Yeah.
You need to come fight out here in California.
Yeah.
And when I showed him the stuff, he was like, wow, are you kidding me? It's just incredible. And again, just the show, the fighters, the matchmaking, all the above. We talk about it on and on, but here's the great news. We don't have to talk anymore because guess what? It gets to happen tomorrow.
It's time.
It's going to be ready to go. And the theme has been, let's go. And I can't agree more with this card. Let's go.
Yeah, they say it's a fighter's promotion, UNF. It's certainly a fan's promotion, and you guys are in for a treat tomorrow. I got to get some sleep because I got 17 fights to call tomorrow. I'm sure you guys are going to be here getting the scoop, and we will see you tomorrow for UNF 17 when more than ever before at Up Next Fighting, it is time to fight on. Big thanks to Schmo, too, for holding down the weigh-in, and our production crew. We'll see you tomorrow for UNF 17.
Tremendous first round TKO finish. It's him versus Vasquez.
All these other fighters out here think that they're Superman out. One guy who's got kryptonite in his name.
We have a new champion, Gianni Vasquez.
He is the Rising Stars lightweight champion.
Weston Hero, before he even had his hand raised in his last fight, he already called out the champ.
And he said to him, I will see you in Burbank.